Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Back with you on The Next Round. One thing to get to before we get out of here, brought to you by our friends at HydroLive. Before you tell us about HydroLive LT, yesterday Michigan backed away from Jim Harbaugh coming as the honorary captain for the Fresno State opener, saying it was Jim Harbaugh's decision. Sherrone Moore saying he's decided to stay in the foxhole with the Chargers and continue to work in the season instead of coming to Ann Arbor to take a deep, long bow. That was
such a ridiculous statement in the foxhole.
He will not be the honorary captain. Now, keep in mind, separate investigation still ongoing about the Connor Stalions sign-stealing incident. Sherrone Moore has 52 deleted texts with Connor Stalions. He says yesterday he looks forward to those being released.
Well, he was just cleaning up his phone a little bit.
Yeah. Well, then he could release them today if he looks forward to them being released, right? Couldn't Sherrone Moore release those? Does he have to wait for the NCAA to do it?
Well, if I've deleted them, Brown, I don't know if I could get back to them, but I'm sure they can get to them. Is there a chance? We say the NCAA doesn't have enough teeth, but NCAA in conjunction with the Big Ten, that they got a little worried about shooting the middle finger at the NCAA while this Connor Stalions thing was out there, that could impact vacation of wins from last year and the possibility of, like Michigan's had to do. Didn't they have to do that with their basketball Final Four trip?
Yeah, one of them with the Fab Five.
Yeah, the Fab Five that they can't
maybe both of them.
They can't recognize that.
Yeah, they had to take the banner down.
Yeah, but we still do. I'd put the banner back up during this investigation.
Yeah, that's when the NCAA had teeth. Was when they had to take the banner down.
But my question is, why do you think this is
happening?
I don't
know. It's a good question. I don't know if Harbaugh just was like, it's going to be too big of a distraction.
Well, and it's an easy way for him to get out and not have to go back to Ann Arbor. I know he loves Ann Arbor, but he's got a lot on his plate right now.
He's got to stay in the foxhole.
It was going to be a distraction, though. No,
it was 100% going to be a distraction. Now, I don't think Harbaugh's ever worried about focus being on him, but this is not necessarily positive focus.
Well, he doesn't lie, cheat, or steal.
That's right.
So, I mean,
he doesn't lie either. Yeah. Lie, cheat, or steal. He doesn't lie.
Part of the show being brought to you by our friends at HydroLive.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. We have Emily and her crew coming in tomorrow to give us bags. Looking forward to that. You can boost your immune system with HydroLive therapy, IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost that immune system, and much more. Also ask about the memberships. Basically, recoup that IV membership fee in just one visit with the one free IV bag every single month. HydroLive therapy, open daily 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, Highway 119, and Greystone. Also, Tuscaloosa location, very important. Mention The Next Round, 20% off any of these great services. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
Rusty says the NCAA sacking up and doing something would be the biggest upset of the year. Hunter says, wait, I just thought about there being no Lake Day before fall camp at Alabama this year. No, Kalen DeBoer, I guess, didn't drag the guys out on a boat and pull them in the tube or anything like we've seen from Nick Saban in the past years.
He had an ice cream truck at practice, and I saw people like, oh, this guy's clearly not serious about whatever.
Do you think if Kalen, sent Nate Oates a text and said, hey, I know you're going to be on the lake
When
today,
on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show now on a Thursday. Tomorrow's anniversary day up here, but tonight's the kickoff party at Walk-Ons. We're looking forward to that. Come on out, 5 o'clock. I've had 3 people text me this morning. They're on their way.
On their way? Where are they coming from?
I don't know. They're
leaving Oklahoma?
They're coming tonight. That's the way I should phrase it.
Riding horseback from Alabasta.
5 o'clock until we're done. Stadium Trace Walk-Ons tonight. Looking forward to that. Every year, Brown will tell you. I was even doing it on the golf course yesterday. I'm always like, I don't know if anybody will show up. And then every year it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Don't take it for granted. You never know.
Never take it for granted.
We did our first kickoff party when? It was like the 22nd that year, wasn't it? It was like a week after we had started the show or something like that.
I don't know. It was so different because, obviously it was in 2021.
We didn't start the show till August 16th, and I think we did it like a week after.
But we also did it, I think it was maybe the week of opening season.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, I don't know if anybody will come. I don't know if people know where to find us yet. I don't know if anybody, I've seen the numbers of who's watching the show and listening to the show, and those are great, but who knows? I don't even know who those people are. Those could be all new people that have just stumbled across us. Who knows?
Yeah.
And I will never forget the moment. This is one of those moments where you're like, guys, we're going to make it here. I'll never forget, as the party is starting, Matt Roth, who's the owner of the Walk-Ons franchises, comes up to me and says, hey, is there any way you could send a tweet out? And I said, to promote the party? He goes, no, to tell people to park in the Publix parking lot. We're full, our neighbors are full, and they're calling us complaining that all the people are parking in their lot. And I'm like, that'll be the happiest tweet I've ever sent. I will be glad to do that, Matt. Thank you. That was when I was like, man, our people are amazing.
Yeah, well, I remember the first show that we did, and the anniversary's tomorrow. We should be doing this tomorrow, but the first show we did that night, Rockstar's dad, threw us a party at the wine.
That is correct.
Wine area downtown.
Wine loft.
The wine area, wine loft.
Yeah. Wine loft downtown. So we did a show. Then we went to that, which was a great evening. And we found out that Rockstar had a stomach virus and Nancy was pregnant.
That's right.
All in the same night, right?
All in the same night.
Just a historic night in
Fun.
your household and our household.
That's a normal night in the Henniger household.
Clearly.
I had to book it from downtown to Vestavia. My God.
Yeah,
so is it hard to believe for you that was so tomorrow that'll be 3 years ago?
Yeah, we got another one on the way. So
Another
it's
one on the way.
repeating itself. It's
You
fun.
just got over a stomach virus, right?
Yeah. No, I got rid of a cold. I don't know what it was.
I don't know about
2 weeks.
people coming to see us tonight, but I do want to remind you, our friends at Adams and Anheuser-Busch, here are your specials tonight.
All right, here we go. Specials, Jim. You ready?
Bud Light, Busch Light, Michelob Ultra, 350 pints, and 550 22 ounces. So that's happy hour pricing all night long. There you go, Scott.
Oh,
all right, so happy hour pricing.
I'm in a Busch Light mood.
And look, I've got
Look at you.
I'm in a Busch Light mood.
Some clients coming, but one thing that I get caught up in is I'm talking to clients majority of the time. I don't get to talk to enough of our listeners. So there are some listeners I've never met before. I would love to meet you guys if you're even interested in meeting me. But please say hello.
Yeah,
and,
just interrupt
let's drink
us.
a beer.
I
Please.
think anybody understands in this type of situation, as Scott shows you some photos from last year. I mean, interrupt us if you need to and say hello. Like if you're about to leave and you haven't spoken to one of us and for whatever reason want to, just interrupt the conversation. It's no big deal. Man, everybody will understand.
That's right. Always.
Everybody will understand. We're
Always.
friendly people.
And I'm socially awkward, so if I stay on the conversation about 10 minutes longer than you wanted to, that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me. You'll try to walk away from me, and I'll be like, so tell me now, in
Jim
high
actually
school.
drove me home in my car.
No, let's see how many awkward Jim moments we can get tonight.
Who's
from our
going to
listeners.
count?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, just send us the awkward moment.
Yeah, I was talking to Jim and.
Yeah, how he tried to extend the conversation.
I was trying to
Tonight's Thursday. Do you like Thursdays?
I was trying to volunteer for something that would keep me occupied behind a desk all night long so that I would have fewer socially active situations, but apparently
Our man Matt Roth's
They
going to
don't
be
trust
there
me
the
with
entire
anything.
time. He had an event, a catering event. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to tap out and I'm going to just come hang out with you guys. So I'm sure if you wanted to get back there and expo or wash dishes, he's
And
probably
I
got
don't-
something for you.
I don't think Matt minds me saying this because it's only a credit to he and his staff, but this is a credit to our audience. Do you know, Matt told me this, do you know that, if I'm not mistaken about this, every year we've done the party at one of their locations, that Walk-Ons is the highest grossing location in the entire country.
Now I think
that
you're
night.
making things up.
Nope, 100%. I asked Matt about that. I swear to you, he's
I'm
done
gonna
that.
call and get validation
I
right now
can't.
or
No.
send a
The-
text.
The only thing I'll back off on is that it might not be every single party, but I think it is. I think whatever location we're at, that is the highest grossing walk-ons in the entire country that one night.
yeah, but that's like saying.
Okay, Jim's going to discredit
No,
it.
no,
so
I'm
right
just
there.
saying that Matt's stores here in the Birmingham area are always number 1 and number 2 in the country.
Well, I mean, not always. You never know.
I mean, Trustful's been number one since it
Yeah,
opened.
it has, but I'm saying
Of course,
you
we've
never
never been to Trustful.
That is true.
Yeah.
We'll do that one. You never know. I mean, like the night you and I were at the Walk-Ons and Better Than Ezra's playing outside, gonna guess Baton Rouge was probably number 1 in the country that night.
Probably so.
Yeah.
If they were counting the parking lot, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so that's tonight, 5 o'clock. We'll roll in. We'll actually be out there earlier setting up, but 5 o'clock, come roll on at Walk-On Stadium Trace. That's just off I-459. If you're already on your way from Montgomery, or as smart-ass Tyler says in the back room, our one listener in Dubai, if he's on his way over,
Come
Tyler,
on.
I hear you.
He left Sunday.
Has Tyler's hair grown out yet? I haven't seen him today.
Or wherever you're coming from, come on down. And again, thanks to our friends at Bud Light and Adams. If you live in the Metro Birmingham area and you need it, want it, first free Uber ride on the way home. Free Uber ride on the way home. First 100 of you that are there, starting at 5 o'clock, not if you get there at 4. First 100 of you there at 5, get a free commemorative T-shirt, free. I got a strong hint from our social media director that Lunceford has curated koozies commemorating our Cover Crimson and thebarnauburn.com.
Interesting. Okay.
So we got koozies
Wow.
commemorating our new website there. And for those that don't know, everything that's in the store is always a Lunceford joint. So he makes that stuff happen. So we've got those apparently.
For Crimson cover, by the way?
Cover Crimson.
Cover Crimson.
Cover
Yeah.
Crimson?
Yeah.
I get confused with the little
Yeah.
in top of the name. I heard yesterday that there might be an incredible story dropping behind the scenes.
Oh, I like incredible stories.
yeah.
So this is like,
Worth the $1 to go hear this story.
Yeah. So it's being I think put together right now, but in
Interesting.
the next
So
couple of
are
days
those
we'll
the actual
promote it.
koozies?
like behind the scenes, Lance?
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Are those
Okay.
the actual koozies?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
That's good looking stuff right there.
Yep.
I'll give you an example, Brown.
Okay.
Maybe why a certain person isn't in Tuscaloosa anymore.
That's a rather broad hint, but I'm
Avery
interested.
Johnson?
Well, I think we know the problem with Avery.
I am interested no matter who the subject is. though.
No longer in Tuscaloosa anymore, though. It includes
There's a
Kirby
lot.
Smart.
Yeah. There's
Lane
a lot.
Kiffin.
Steve Sarkisian.
Lane Kiffin would be a great
How about
one.
I just say
Caleb Downs.
a big name?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that used to be in Tuscaloosa, no
Okay.
longer there.
I am all
and
in
I think
on
our
that
guys
story.
are working on that.
I am all in on that story. I love the tea, Rockstar. When people spill the tea, I can't get enough of it.
It's a lot of tea.
That's gonna be a lot of tea right there. I think.
By the way, over at covercrimson.com last night, Chris Marler and
Forster said Brad Bohannon. I think we know that one.
yeah,
Yes.
Well, I mean, EG met the federal judge the other day, right?
Brad Bohannon had the over on his length of stay in Tuscaloosa. At covercrimson.com, Chris Marler and Clint Lamb started their show, and they're looking for a name, and you can go throw some names at them on the website. Mick Gillespie, Clint will be there tonight, and the folks up from thebarnauburn.com, Kyle Rush, Zach Blackerby in town as well for that. Brad Law sends his regards, but go and subscribe there right now. $1 for the first month. Try it out, and then ride with the yearly membership if you want to for all the content you get there. Some free and some behind the paywall there. All right. So there you go. There's what's happening tonight. We'll get into everything that is going on in college football and the NFL in this opening segment here after I tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, with over 35 urologists on hand, 16 great locations across Alabama, treating all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones. They'll take care of you. Get more details or call to make an appointment. 205-930-0920, 930-0920, or visit urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com to schedule an appointment. The first question I want to ask today, can the Atlanta Falcons win a championship before the Atlanta Braves win their next championship? Yes or no? Big move overnight. All-pro rusher Matthew Judon from the Patriots to the Falcons in the trade. Another piece to the puzzle. This Falcons team, I hate they're in my division now because this Falcons team seems to be doing everything right in the front office.
I love the Patriots in my division. They're in complete rebuild right now, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, so I like having them in my division all of a sudden. I'm inclined to say no to this, Lance, because I think the Braves, the only reason they're probably not going to win the World Championship this year is an incredible string of injuries. That's a championship roster they've got. I don't know that the Falcons have a championship roster right now.
I mean, the good news for the Falcons, you're in the NFC, so the quarterback talent from top to bottom is not nearly as deep as it is in the AFC. You're also in a very winnable division year in, year out.
Yeah.
I mean, the Braves do have to deal with the Phillies. You know, the Mets are one of those teams that can come on at any time just based on payroll. I would say the Braves are more built for it. Now, here's the thing I would ask. Like, is the transition from Kirk Cousins in 26 to Michael Penix Jr. going to be as smooth as some people think?
I don't know. And that's the other thing is how long is Cousins the quarterback? Does Penix play well enough that they're like, the future is now, we got to go with him? I don't know the answers to that. I'm just saying, if I told you a healthy Braves won the World Championship next year, it would not surprise you at all.
And I would also say this. When you look around right now, if the Falcons are favored to win the South, but even if they get in the playoffs, what are the chances they're going to win 3 games to win a championship? You know, to me,
is that the minimum you'd have to win unless you're the number 1 overall seed?
Unless you're the overall seed,
then you got to win 3.
You got to win wild card, divisional. Actually, you got to win 4.
Yeah, 3 to get to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
And then once you're in the Super Bowl,
well, God knows if the Falcons ever get there and have a lead, they'll lock down at Super Bowl.
To me, Major League Baseball is just so unpredictable. Once you get to the postseason, we saw it last year with the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. It is so difficult to win those series, and in one-game situations in the NFL. You know, I don't know. It really depends on quarterback. I mean, Kirk Cousins, to me, is not going to win a championship. I think he's really good.
So you don't think Kirk Cousins can be Brock Purdy-esque? You don't think Kirk Cousins can be Jared Goff-esque?
Brock Purdy has not won a Super Bowl.
Well, he hasn't, but those two guys.
Jared Goff hasn't.
No.
But I would say if he had those rosters, like I think the Falcons roster is good. It's not what the 49ers is. It isn't what the Lions is, and it isn't what the Rams were in 2018.
I mean, let's just tap the brakes a little bit here. I agree they're not what the 49ers are, but aren't they close? Aren't they close? I mean, they just sucked at quarterback, didn't they?
They were 7-10 last
year.
They
sucked at quarterback. It's hard to be anything but 7-10 if you suck at quarterback.
Yeah. I don't have time to do this, but if you just stack the roster based on best players in San Francisco and in Atlanta, how would they compare? So in San Francisco, just purely off the top of my head, in San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey's probably number 1.
He is the one that you can't match up.
Right. Trent Williams is a lock Hall of Fame left tackle.
I think if you went position for position, like Judon definitely is going to be a starter. But I mean, San Francisco would probably have 18 of the 22 out there.
Yeah, that's my point. I mean, just think, you start going on that San Francisco roster, it is so
Atlanta needs
stacked.
to win the division first.
Yeah.
Win 10 games.
Okay, but their quarterback sucked. I mean, say they get good quarterback play.
No,
now how close are they position by position?
But how much damage has Kirk Cousins ever done in the postseason?
None. And let me paint this scenario for you because it's a real possible one. Falcons win the division, and they in the first round host either Green Bay or Detroit. How do you feel about that? Because that's a real scenario, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The
NFC is
I know. I mean,
minefield.
You could be the worst division winner. You get a home game, but by the way, you're going to get the wild card from a really good division, which could be a Philadelphia or a Dallas or a Green Bay or a Detroit or an LA Rams or something like that.
Yeah, and by the way, we're talking about Kyle Shanahan to Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris is a defense coordinator I like. I saw him as a head coach, and it wasn't nice. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Now, maybe second time around it'll be different.
But I don't want to.
He's got a better team.
Does have a better team, but this Atlanta team has done absolutely nothing up until this point.
And I don't want to crap all over the
Because their
Falcons.
quarterback suck.
I think the Falcons are, an 11-7, maybe 12-5 type team.
Yeah, I think 10-7's a number, which is, a 3-game
Or,
improvement.
excuse me, 11-6. Yeah, 10-7, 11-6.
And
type team.
this does kind of remind me of last year with Jacksonville in the AFC South. Like, if you went around and you ask 10 people who's going to win this division this year, 9 are going to say the Falcons. And then you're going to have a one-off, whether it's your Tampa Bay Bucks repeating, whether it's Carolina comes out of nowhere with Bryce Young, or whether it's the New Orleans Saints.
One more thought. One more thought on the NFC South. It's been a while. Could the wild card come out of the NFC South?
No.
I mean, if the Falcons win it, can the Bucks be good enough to be the last team in? Can
Well,
the Saints be good enough to be the last team in?
Let's go on, and you've got the 4 division winners in, okay? So then you've got 3 wild cards.
Yeah, one of them's coming out of the North.
Let's just say predictably, let's just go with the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go with the Detroit Lions. Let's go with the Atlanta Falcons, and let's go with San Francisco.
Okay.
Then you've got 3 other teams. Like, I really believe Green Bay with the money they've paid.
Oh, no, I'm stunned if a wild card does not come out of the East and the North.
Yeah.
Aren't you? Either Dallas or Philadelphia out of the East, and either Green Bay or Detroit out of the North is going to be a wild card.
Yeah,
That
and
would shock
again,
me if they're not.
I'm being a homer here, but I think people are sleeping on the Rams.
No,
I think
I'm with you 100%.
The only negative on the Rams is Aaron Donald's no longer there.
Yeah.
Now, there is word that he could possibly come back.
Oh, are they saying? Are people
is there
talking about
word?
that?
He's been hanging around practice.
So he's just going to
wait,
miss
wait,
off-season conditioning and camp?
Oh,
Wait a
I think he'd be
second.
just fine.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not going to.
No. But I mean, let's be fair. When this happened for other great star athletes, it seems like you always hated this.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's not Aaron Donald. But the other thing, Aaron
Ram.
Donald's never said this. This is just speculation by like diehard Rams fans that want it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that is the one reason that people are saying, you know what, the Rams just aren't going to be as good as they were last year. It was supposed to be a rebuilding year. I think they got a ton of young talent. It all depends on the health of Matt Stafford. He stays healthy, the Rams
I
could be
think-
really good.
You take the Vikings off the board now.
I don't know. I mean, McCarthy is out.
Yeah.
McCarthy's
Jordan
out
Addison
for the
goes down.
season.
Yeah, Sam Darnold
Yeah.
is not getting in the postseason. They got a lot of weapons,
That's all I'm about to say is they got a lot of weapons. And
because we forget they bring Aaron Jones in. We forget how good
Yeah.
Jordan Addison was down the stretch. Obviously, Justin Jefferson.
Addison
is-
got carted off yesterday, though. It's expected to be season ending.
I did not see that with
I
Jordan
didn't
Addison.
see that either. Jordan Addison got carted off.
Carted
yesterday?
off at the end of practice yesterday, and they big headlines this morning on all my newsletters.
Yeah.
Vikings are jinxed.
See, I'm looking at headlines right here. It's not even on there, but
Jordan Addison carted off with a apparent leg injury. It says so. They think it's season ending.
That's what the word out of Minnesota is.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
that's a problem.
Boy, what a crappy
God,
2
I wish
days
I was
they've
in a
had.
fantasy football league with you.
Yeah, you would be great.
I am with him. He's always in
Yeah.
the championship game.
Left ankle injury shortly after the start of a joint practice. Well, now Kevin O'Connell says I don't think he'll practice Thursday, but then he does say MRI. But I think he's going to be all right. That's what he said.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing in the headlines here.
Yeah. Now, if he's out for the year,
Okay, so maybe they overreacted on these newsletters.
potentially, was it Katie Couric that was saying it?
No, it wasn't Katie Couric.
The Vikings might be one of the most cursed franchises of all time.
Yeah, that's what the headline said.
I mean, really. I mean, to lose, if you lost McCarthy and Addison in back-to-back days for
Well,
the
I think all you got
season,
to do is say Gary Anderson missed a kick.
I missed one all year.
Yeah.
Until the most important one.
LT's telling us about Inverness Country Club right here, and then we will jump in to one more thing in our opening segment. A ton of college football to get to. Buster Olney joins the show today at 10:25 to talk a little baseball with us. A new pennant race goes today at 12:15 with Emily Grace and Ush as they talk about the Braves getting a win last night, 13-2, as their bats awaken with Michael Harris the second, flying all the way from the ATL out to San Francisco. You fly commercial, right? You don't have a private jet to go from Atlanta to San Francisco, right? The team doesn't put you in a PJ, do they?
For a player of his caliber, they might.
yeah. Probably.
For a player of his caliber. Now, if you're getting called up from Rome to Atlanta,
I don't know. I guess it depends on who's using the jet.
I mean, I'm saying it's probably first class, but it's
I don't know.
It's probably
Maybe.
commercial.
depends on how quick they
Tell
wanted him
you,
out there.
first class, Dunaway segue here. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. Nothing but first class out there. Memberships that fit everyone. The social membership, including the resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday night, Sunday brunch, the golf membership, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. Childcare, also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course. Dinner with friends. Knowing your kid is safe on site is a massive plus. Best days happen in Inverness. To take a tour of this unbelievable club, call Erin. Tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online iccalabama.com.
LT transition here. Best days happened for Michael Harris yesterday. He's back, and he hits one into the bay.
Well, we were in the middle of trivia, and you think if you were in a 2-block radius, you heard people go nuts when he hit that one in the bay last night.
Early in the game, and the sun is setting, and he jacks it all the way into the water. More home runs. They had 3 or 4 in the game, 13-2. That's the kind of, Braves get healthy here at the end. They can be dangerous in the playoffs.
Hey, just to confirm, our man Matt at Walk-On said Brown is correct.
Oh, my God.
The first 3 parties we've had, they have been the number 1 location that night in all of the Walk-On's family.
Did you tell him Dunaway immediately discredited what that even meant for him?
I did
Go
not.
ahead and tell him that.
I did not say
it's
that.
immediately, which is, Brown.
No, he was the one that.
Well, he doubted it.
I did doubt it.
Yeah. Y'all will learn not to doubt me.
Yeah, we will learn
Not to doubt me.
Yeah, in your head for sure. All right, so that was baseball. Oh, by the way, Aaron Judge, 300 home runs. Listen to the history of this, by the way. I mean, Buster can talk about this later on. He's the fastest as far as number of games and number of at-bats to get to 300 home runs in baseball history. He did it in 955 games, breaking Ralph Kiner's record, and he did it in fewer at-bats, breaking Babe Ruth's record to get to 300 home runs.
I would also say he's probably the only guy that's 6'7" to ever do it. I mean, just a massive human being.
Yeah, how
big
tall
dude.
was Babe Ruth?
I've always
6'3",
envisioned
6'4".
I mean, he looked massive playing with the small people of yesteryear.
Yeah, people were smaller back then, weren't they?
Yes.
Babe doesn't
I
have his
would
height
say
on
that
it.
he was 6'3", 270 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. Why can I not? Babe Ruth height. Do you want his weight too, Jim?
I don't care about his weight, but
Height and weight right here.
I'm thinking 6'1" with you guys.
6'2", 215. There's no
No
way that guy was
way.
215.
That's my size.
I'm 215.
But truthfully, I carry all my weight in my stomach. It looked like Babe did too.
Oh, the Babe looked like a pear. Or you remember Weeble Wobbles back in the day?
I do.
Old reference.
The Weeble
Babe-
wobble, they won't fall
but
down.
they won't fall
Babe
down.
Ruth was a Weeble Wobble.
Well, he was thick in the hips. He had childbirth in hips.
But he also had a big head, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like me. I'm Babe Ruth size, except for the height. But I got Babe Ruth's middle and head.
Right. And not his athletic ability. That's your unfortunate.
I don't know.
Oh, I do. Yeah, you don't have Babe Ruth's athletic ability.
I mean, it was the 20s, Brown. You don't think in these 20s I'm as athletic as people in
It
those 20s?
is wild to me how you discount Babe Ruth so often. Well, you did this the other day. You were like, we were talking about best left-hander of all time. We're like, the guy hit 714 home runs and was a good pitcher. And you're like, yeah, it was in the 20s.
Yeah,
The
probably
guy's
wouldn't
not even here to defend himself.
be, probably would not be top 10 in my baseball players of all time. In fact, I know he wouldn't be.
Babe Ruth would not be in your top 10 baseball
No,
players of all time.
no.
Who is?
We could take
Claudel Washington.
We could take Ken Griffey Jr.
How would you not put Babe? That's
is insane,
We
asinine.
could take
Dunaway.
Willie Mays.
You're sending
It's
like
different eras.
And
I mean,
put them back there.
Nobody
and they would
has-
slaughter them.
Nobody has dominated an era like that ever. Like Barry Bonds, the best I've ever seen. You guys go Willie Mays, that's fine. But
Had to
like
listen
Barry,
to it on the radio.
Babe Ruth, based on how dominant he was.
I agree, Lance.
Like if
I
you
think
look
Jim's
at
out of his
the
mind.
look at the home run count back in the day. I don't think anybody was within like 20 or 30 home runs of the
Well,
guy.
I mean, Forrester said it wouldn't be in his top 10 either. Now, Scott's a White Sox fan, so I don't know if he even watches Major League Baseball.
Thank you,
Hey,
Forrester.
you dropped your season ticket packages. That's shocking.
Yeah, they're lowering their prices for White Sox season tickets. All right.
I hate the kind of sports talk I'm about to do right here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Aaron Judge, Hall of Famer lock, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah. 300 home runs. He's gone over 60 once.
I mean, even if it
about to go over 60
absolute-
again.
if his career was over today, I think he still could find his way there.
Yeah.
I think so, too. Hemphill brings you the lock every day, lanceslock.com. Baseball. maybe today. Football
Yes.
returns tonight.
Yeah, so NFL preseason, we are 6-1 right now at lanceslock.com, where we've got a new YouTube channel, win@lanceslock.com. New content going out. Might have already gone out there. But 6-1 in the NFL preseason. We've got 3 total plays up tonight, including the Eagles-Patriots preseason game. Jump on board. Win with us. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, and tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, go online. Go to hemphillservices.com.
Okay, starting hour 2, about 45 minutes from now, top 5 games that will wreck the college football playoffs. LT with a conversation that Brown's excited about. But what we teased yesterday in the next segment, some things that that from a bygone era of college football that you guys miss or yearn for, wish they would return. Had a couple of DMs of people sending information on that bygone era of college football, things that you have missed. We talked about it with Reese Davis yesterday. We'll do that in the next segment, again at 10 o'clock, top 5 games that will wreck the college football playoffs.
Hey, was Lou Gehrig good? I just got to ask you this.
Oh, Lou Gehrig was
good.
Is he in your top 10?
Well, I'm just looking at 1927 was kind of a banner year.
That was the
the
27 Yankees, right?
So
Yeah.
Babe Ruth had the most, 60 home runs. Lou Gehrig, 47, and then Hack Wilson was third with 30.
Yeah. I mean, they were playing pitchers that were.
Yes.
Oh, that's a.
Okay, but
I didn't know how to throw a curveball.
How was Lou Gehrig good?
The
And then
curveball had.
How do you give Lou Gehrig credit?
Babe Ruth was good. He was not top 10 of all time. Lou Gehrig, not top 10 of all time.
If we have the Babe Ruth disease out there, you would change your tune.
No, Lou Gehrig, not top 10 of all time.
Rockstar.
Not top 10 of all time.
Show me how pitchers
They had not invented the
What got
curveball
Lou
yet.
Gehrig?
I can't remember, like something. What was
Something.
it?
We come back on the other side. This is the next round.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Back with you on the next round as we continue on. By the way, to put a wrap on the NFL before we get into college football, LT said it, Eagles, Patriots tonight, 6 o'clock NFL Network. Is that the only NFL preseason?
Yeah, that's the only one tonight.
And then Jerry Jones did say yesterday at Cowboys camp that he wants CeeDee Lamb to be a Cowboy and that CD wants to be a Cowboy. Michael Parsons had said 2 days ago that he thinks CD will be dressed, ready to go for game 1 for the Cowboys. So at some point, that contract looks like it's going to get worked out. Show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision, LT.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. That is the number that I called more than 2 decades ago. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. 2015 vision, better than 2020. Our friends at Michelson Laser Vision, they're going to be at the party tonight. Make the phone call, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with the pre-inflation pricing. Also, hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. If you're at the party tonight, you want to be introduced to Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business, let me know. For more information, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Casey on social media with us on Twitter at Next Round Live. Go follow us there at Next Round Live. From yesterday, he says, you guys are killing me on the shoe size segment. I'm trying to exercise, looking down at my short white dude size 8s while you're talking about Melton and Lunceford shoe size. Their shoes are 2 of my freaking shoes put together.
Think about that.
Also on old college football stuff that I miss, I agree with you on the score announcements. I miss Pepper Simpson's voice.
Simpson Pepper.
Okay, it says Pepper Simpson, but you're right. It is Simpson Pepper. His voice at Legion Field. But the thing I miss most is Sunday newspapers. Wall-to-wall football coverage, great photos, breakouts. Used to love going to get that.
I was thinking yesterday just randomly. I don't know why I was thinking of this. I have not seen a newspaper, and I honest to goodness, cannot tell you the last time.
USA Today.
We had a USA Today. Where were we?
SEC Media Days. Dallas.
Oh, was that? Did we have that?
Yeah, remember there was USA Today at our hotel,
okay,
and so I would
right.
bring a couple over. But when we were taking the architecture tour in Chicago, they were talking about the Wrigley building and then a couple of other, and they were talking about one time, I think there were 70 publications going on, and then walking through O'Hare to fly out Monday morning, they had all of the Chicago Tribune, and they're all empty. And it's really sad because that is one of those things that people will never realize with the handheld device now, how awesome the paper was and how enjoyable, at least it was for me.
Especially here in the South, whether it was the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, but the Birmingham News on Sunday, you'd have the front page, and then you'd have the Alabama double pages with extra photos,
fantastic
columns, breakouts, quotes, stats, and then you'd have the Auburn page.
And a lot of times it was the first time you knew the stats from the game, like Brent Fullwood rushed for 125 yards. Okay. Jay Barker was 7 of
13.
7 of 20 for 88 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
okay.
Paper's great, but if I'm going print, to me, the ticket, like I was thinking about this when we were going to the concert on Sunday night. Like, I hate not having the hard ticket, and especially how cool the Auburn tickets were. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. The old drawing by Phil Neal, I think was his name.
Those were just incredible. And being able to save those tickets as a kid, like, you don't have hard copies anymore.
Yep.
I used to, on my dresser had a mirror. And
you'd stick them on
you
the
were
side?
able to slide it in there.
I did that.
And I'd have concert tickets there.
Yeah, like I remember
like I was a 16-year-old girl.
The game we were going to at Rickwood Field, our guest today, Buster, was like, "Hey guys, make sure you save that ticket." And we were like, "They don't exist, Buster. Everything's on the phone. There is no ticket." Yeah. And that's kind of sad. I don't know if there's a way. Like I don't know
why you can't still have a hard copy that you can keep.
I wonder if you could pay extra for. I think people would. Like, I just want you to mail me a hard copy.
Oh, I guarantee you, a lot of people would pay $10 extra.
Yeah.
Especially for a game like I don't want to say a Super Bowl.
But like Game of the Century. I mean, I know we had tickets back in 2011, but if there was ever a Game of the Century now, you'd want that ticket. Absolutely. Greg says Sunday morning, sitting on the bed, drinking coffee with the wife, and the newspaper spread everywhere were some great memories. Just didn't realize it at the time. Here's an old Auburn ticket, Legion Field, Auburn, Tennessee.
It always had the little cartoon on there, and they were so creative, so well done. That ticket is just iconic.
And that Auburn sweatshirt that little T wears sometimes, the basketball, the Albee Tiger.
Yeah, you like that one?
No, hey, you see the face value on that?
It was 1968.
I know, but still $6.
$6.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, you literally
Section 13, row 1.
You can't get a Coke for $6 now.
No, not in a game.
That is crazy.
Even the way they did like the numbering right there was just iconic on that Auburn ticket.
Yeah. And I don't even know if that's the guy who ended up drawing in the 70s.
I really don't know if anybody can tell you that having your iPhone with a ticket in the wallet can be better than that. Even a 20-year-old. That's just better.
Yeah. Suitable for framing. Absolutely. He has one more. He has one more thing here, Kerry does. And I don't know how many of you are even old enough to remember this, but ABC's Bill Fleming's Sunday morning college football highlight show would come on at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I think it was 11 o'clock here in Birmingham, and then the Bear Bryant show would come on at 12 noon. And at 11 o'clock, it was Bill Fleming's ABC college football. And they would pick certain games they would send the cameras out to each week. And this was back when you only had one game on Saturday. And sometimes it was the only time you got to see a highlight of games around the country. In Tuscaloosa, southern Mississippi, played Bear Bryant in Alabama. And they'd show a clip of highlights, and then they'd do another one. We got highlight shows now. Or you get highlights during the game. I mean, from a big noon kickoff 11 o'clock game, like Alabama at Wisconsin, 11 o'clock. By the time the game's in that night and Sunday morning, you've already seen every highlight of every game in college football. But back then, you had one game you watched. There was really rarely any highlights in the Prudential College scoreboard, which is one of the things I missed. And then you would go on Sunday mornings, you'd see the highlights from Bill Fleming's ABC college football.
It was pretty cool watching a game when the number one team in the country was playing somewhere else and they were on the ropes and you weren't getting that game. I know this sounds insane to people now, but you couldn't watch that game. Like, I remember
when there's nothing you could do. Like, you couldn't find it on radio.
No, there was nothing. And your only hope was the game I'm watching, they're going to break in if something happens. And just the anticipation of, like, let's go back to the studio. Guys, number one, Miami is on the ropes against Arizona. Like, I specifically remember the bear down defense. Arizona had Miami on the ropes, and it was a big deal. And I was watching some SEC game, and Miami was on the ropes. Couldn't watch the Miami-Arizona game. Seems like a pretty big game. Couldn't watch it. But they would go back and say, Miami is on the ropes here. Arizona has just scored. We're under 3 minutes to go, and the Hurricanes have the ball. We'll update you.
But see, you'd get a highlight.
Yeah. You'd see Arizona score,
When I was a kid, you wouldn't even get a highlight.
You just get the score?
There was no ticker. Just every now and then, Keith Jackson would be, just all of a sudden, in between plays, the scores would pop up at the bottom. And it would be like, number one, Penn State, struggling with Pitt. And he would just say, Pitt leads Penn State right now. I have to keep an eye on that one. And then another score would pop up, and they'd go back to the action. There was no going back to the studio. They would just drop it in there.
You brought up the fact that I moved to New York for the Michigan State-Oregon game. Yeah. That was back in 12 or 13, so it's been more than a decade ago. But you think about that regional coverage back in the day. And back when Colorado was good, they were playing in the Big House, Cordell Stewart, one of the more amazing finishes we've ever seen. Not everybody in the country got it. We got it here in Birmingham, but there were regions of the country that didn't get to see live Cordell Stewart to Michael Westbrook.
That's what they're saying in the mybookie.ag chat room over there, is that you would each week they'd say, next week our list of games, and it'd be like 7 games on the screen.
Yeah.
And it would be like, the biggest one in the country, but you'd have to look and like, oh man, Georgia's playing Kentucky. I bet we get that one.
Well, I tell you what we got a lot of on ABC was the ACC game. This is after CBS got the SEC package. Like, I can specifically remember maybe like a USC-Oregon game or something like that was ABC 230. Also at 230, NC State pays a visit to Clemson before Clemson was any good. And you're like, I'm going to get NC State Clemson, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch USC Oregon because I'm going to watch NC State visit Clemson. Welcome to Death Valley. 4-3 NC State here, 3-4 Clemson.
What's
trying
crazy,
to get to
though,
500.
What's crazy when I was a kid, though, that non-big game, that regional game, Al Michaels was the play-by-play guy on it.
I remember
Keith Jackson had the good game.
Yeah.
Al Michaels was like the second best
secondary
game.
game, yeah.
I remember going to Lexington for a game, and I was with a guy named Phil Bartlett, great dude, and we were in his RV, and there was a few of us, and it was Alabama, Kentucky, but at 2:30, Cal and USC were playing, and it was the incredible game with Aaron Rodgers back and forth. USC ended up winning the game in a complete shootout, but I couldn't get it. He even had a DirecTV ESPN game plan, and we could not get it that day.
Tell us about Lanyas.
And now you can't miss a game.
I know you get them all.
Tell us about Lanyas Furniture. We're talking about a bygone era. Lanyas has been around forever, and listen, pricing changes, but they continue to give you the best pricing.
Yeah, our friends at Lanyas Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Lanyas Furniture offers a great selection for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, and a slew of mattresses. Lanyas can also help with your home design and decorating. And our friends, Reggie and John, want to remind you they just received a shipment of reclining leather sofas that start at just $11.99. $11.99 for reclining leather sofa. They've also got some big reclining sectionals on sale for less than $2,000. These are incredible deals. They're trying to help folks out right now. Take that short drive from Birmingham. Exit 280 off of I-65, the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south on U.S. Highway 31 for 1.3 miles. Lanyas is going to be right there on your right. For more information, 205-647-4311. And make sure you tell Reggie and John the next round sent you.
In the next segment, Forrester has ESPN's top 10 players out there. I just sent him a video from when I was down at my mom and dad's before I went on vacation. I went down to the basement where I used to do play TV because that used to be my grandmother's house and grandfather's, and went down to the basement where I used to play.
You did the scoreboard, right?
Yeah, I did my old Prudential College scoreboard. And there's still some things that had not changed down there. Like I had drawn some crayons.
Notre Dame was still good.
I had drawn some crayons, but there was one license plate tag that was still hanging on the nails on the wall that I'd put up way back in the day when it was still hanging the same spot. It had not moved. Nothing had changed.
Jimmy
down
emotional.
there.
You tear it up.
Oh
you?
No, but you'll see it in a second.
Yeah,
it's one of the things that takes you back because nowadays there is a thing called collegiate sports licensing. Right? Like, Albee looks like Albee. They've decided on what Albee's going to look like. They decided what Big Al's going to look like. They decided what the Auburn logo looks like, the Alabama logo looks like, and everything that's made and sold looks, like it came from the school, right?
There's some uniformity. Yeah.
Back in the day, in this situation, late 70s, they didn't have collegiate sports licensing yet. And people and the schools even their mascots didn't always look the same. The 1978 national championship tag that I was able to find. Look at this. Look at what Big Al looks like. Alabama national champions in 1970.
Looks like he just came out of the womb.
Look at that. Do you think Alabama would let that happen?
No, but you could sell so many shirts with that throwback logo on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, more of the female tee probably.
Yeah. But can you believe that was the Alabama national championship tag in 1978? Yeah. Low ceilings, by the way, in our basement back then. I didn't remember how low the ceilings were until I walked down there.
When you started talking about that in the mybookie.ag chat room, Little T put in U.S. CA, U.S. Yeah. Was that the cheer?
You can't see it because it was crayons.
CA.
You can't see it because it was crayons. But I did in the crayons have written on the wood up there, home of USCA Rockets. Because I used to play basketball down in there.
University of South Central Alabama.
Did anybody ever come down there?
No.
They throw you a banana and loaf of bread.
Did anybody ever come down? You told me your granddad used to pop a beer and watch you do the scoreboard.
He means friends.
No, I was talking about family too. You got a son?
Your granddad would sit there with, this is true love.
Oh, I told this at the tip-off, the Red Elephant Club up in Huntsville. And listen, find someone that you love that would do this for you. My grandmother did not believe in drinking.
Was she a Nazarite?
She was a ship welder in World War II. She would dip snuff until the day she died. She'd dip snuff. She'd cuss an umpire at a baseball game.
So she was
but
not a
she
Nazarite.
did not believe in drinking.
Okay.
So she had her vices, though.
That's right.
My grandfather was a miner. He would go underground and mine just off 150 over here, iron ore.
Where did they get their mani-pedis?
They did not. So
what else?
But my grandmother was the one that bought the groceries. And all due respect to our friends at Bud Light, but my grandfather drank Miller High Life.
Okay.
My grandmother would buy 2 cases of Miller High Life when she would go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And she would pack them into a refrigerator in our basement, where you just saw, in the basement down at their house, that the only thing in that refrigerator was
beer.
Was Miller High Life.
That's what it's supposed to be on the
it's the only
downstairs
thing.
refrigerator.
But he would be working in the garden, because he retired when I was like 7. He'd be working in the garden.
They went from the mine to the garden?
Yeah.
That was an upgrade.
He just retired, but he had a garden at the house. And he'd be like, or he'd be sitting under the shade, reading the newspaper, listening to, the Braves or whatever. And
Listen to John Ed.
He was like, the TC and John Ed. And he would always like, hey, go sneak around the house and go into the basement and
get Daddy a pop.
And we called him Pop. Get me a beer. And don't let Nanny see you. And I'd have to sneak, and like she would buy them, but he could not let her see him drinking them.
Wow!
It didn't make
so he had to stay in the basement to drink the beer.
It didn't make any sense. He would drink the beer in the basement or out in the garden under the shade tree or something.
And he'd watch you do the scoreboard.
Yeah. But it was a crazy relationship.
So you would just sit there and give scores, and Pop was sitting there hammering beer.
Yeah, I'm a hammering. I mean, he'd have 4 or
I'm sorry,
5.
sipping on the beer.
Would he give you one?
That's a good scoreboard, son. Here you go.
I think Nanny actually gave me my first taste of one.
Did Alabama ever lose on your scoreboard?
Well, yeah, it was the real scoreboard.
Oh,
Brown.
you were giving the real scores.
Yeah.
I always thought you were making these scores up.
No.
So it was like Saturday night.
I would sit and listen to the radio or watch the ticker on the TV, and then I would go write them on a dry erase board with a Sharpie. And
did you have your stuffed animal friend set up?
Yeah, we didn't have a dry erase board, by the way. It was our tile from our indoor bathroom that we just remodeled, and we'd write them out, and then I would do the scoreboard.
Who was y'all's Brad Bell in the mud puddle?
Hey, do not let the phrase indoor bathroom fly past you.
No, it was the first time we ever had it.
I know.
The first time we ever had it.
Look at that shitter, boy.
And what was crazy?
We are living now.
What was crazy was afterwards I'd have to get Ajax. Anybody didn't know what Ajax is? Ajax was like powder stuff.
Yeah.
I think Cheat snorted it and up in smoke.
Yeah. So I'd have to get Ajax and put it on the tile, smooth tile, white tile, and scrub off the black Sharpie.
So Nanny didn't whip your ass?
No. So next week I could do the scoreboard again.
Oh.
This was leftover material. It wasn't on the wall.
She didn't care?
Yeah, they didn't care. All right, more bygone era stuff. The college football rankings from ESPN, 10 best players. Do you agree with that? Forrester has it. LT starts us off at 10 o'clock with 5 games that'll wreck the college football. Keep your bygone era college football stuff rolling in. We love that. 9 days away from the greatest sport in the world returning. The show being brought to you by our friends at johnstonrvcenter.com.
I-65 exit 304 Coleman, 334 Indicator is where you find Johnston RV Center. They're ready for tailgate season. Are you? If not, their RV Showcase, end of summer RV Showcase, goes through August, and you can get the best deals on the best floor plans in America right now. What about pre-owned and new travel trailers starting at just $14,995? How about a fifth wheel starting at just $397 a month? You get it right there, an RV warranty forever. Make sure you've got a lifetime warranty on anything new or previously owned at Johnston RV Center. JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Rolling through some stuff. One of LT's old college mates has sent something. Forsher's going to get that for us in a little bit. Coach Jason rolls in and says on the college football bygone things, he names the parking experience at Legion Field. If you know, you know.
Oh, that was fun. I used to have a guy that would take us from a guy that lived in Anniston, one of the best people I've ever known, a guy named Larry Maharg. Funniest man alive, just a great guy, and he passed away too soon. But he had Alabama season tickets, and I'd go to an Iron Bowl with him or a Bama-Tennessee game or something like that. And he knew all the back roads once you got to Birmingham to avoid, the Arkadelphia exit or whatever, and parked at the same guy's house every single time. And he knew him by name. And he was like, oh, Tony's saving me a spot. Yep. And sure enough, you'd pull up, and there was a spot just big enough for his car. He'd back in on the curb, hand him $20 or whatever.
Get blocked in, save it for him.
He would say, do y'all need to go to the bathroom? We can go in, and we'd go in their house and use the bathroom before you go to the stadium.
My buddy Scott Banks, who is in Denver that listens to us, just reminded me, we could not wait until Monday morning, Danny Sheridan's odds to come out in the USA Today.
Yeah.
Because, I finally found on Sunday night, so they would go to the old Westgate, and they would have a series that was like 5 different odds makers, and they would be like, okay, Purdue is at West Virginia, and the first guy would be like, I'm going to list West Virginia at 3.5, and the next one, I'm going to list West Virginia at 3. I've got West Virginia at 2.5, and then they settled, okay, we're going to list West Virginia at 3. So I would listen to that show on Sunday nights.
It was a radio show?
Radio show. It was live.
That sounds fantastic. I'd actually listen to that right now.
It was great because that was the up to the minute. That's how they put them in. But before that was Danny Sheridan when those odds would come out. And, it was awesome seeing them for the first time.
I've told Lance, when I was a kid, I worked at Indian Oaks Golf Club. That was the course in our neighborhood. We lived on the 15th tee. I'd have a job, taking the carts down at night, washing them off or whatever. And I think it was on Monday, during football season, it was probably that long and that skinny and had every game with a point spread. And a guy owned a printing shop that was a member there, and he'd just bring them up, put them in the clubhouse, and they'd disappear.
Yeah, right. The Vegas rotation.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a skinny sheet and had every game. And I remember looking at it, I'm like, oh, Tennessee's an 8-point favorite over,
You could get them at D's Package Store, and what was the other one where you could buy bongs and everything else, kegs?
Bongs.
Down by Green Springs Avenue. Oh my God, help me out! It had
that was Tony's house in Alabaster.
No, but it had the dancing bears from Grateful Dead on it. It was an infamous convenience store, smoke shop in Birmingham, heading downtown the back way over Green Springs. Tootsie's.
Tootsie's, yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah, that's where you would go
Still-
get your
still
rotation.
there, I think.
So when we booked in college, we go to Kinko's. We typically send a pledge, but you would have a line sheet. So you would cut out all of Saturday's games and Sunday's games, and you'd post it on one sheet, and then you'd take them around to different fraternity houses and pass them out, and everybody had the numbers.
By the way, Kinko's does not translate to the Apple. What
do you mean?
Phone. I was looking for Reed the other day. I said, "Where are you?" And he wrote back, "I'm at Kinks." And I was like,
interesting. Have a beverages?
And he wrote asterisk Kinko's. I said, "Okay, well, whatever."
Surprising, they still do a pretty good business, by the way.
Kinko's does.
Yeah. Hey, the Pants Store does too. That's your game day headquarters. Birmingham, Huntsville, Leeds, Tuscaloosa, Auburn. Great locations online as well at the Pants Store. Go check it out. Bama and Auburn polos, hats, quarter zips. They've got great name brands like Horn, Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Gentile, and a lot more. And don't forget, ladies, they've got the rompers and the dresses and all the footwear, including the Western boots, the Hokas, the New Balance you want on game day. If you've got a daughter that's in a sorority, this is the place to go as well. Free alterations, free gift wrapping. Football season is here. Nothing says Roll Tide, War Eagle like the Pants Store. 6 locations, including all over Birmingham, Huntsville, Leeds, Tuscaloosa, and Auburn. Since the 1950s, the Pants Store, making you look great on game days there. Jeff, I believe, let me make sure it's correct. Yeah, Jeff says Leonard's Losers, man. I used to love that on Saturday mornings. Leonard's Losers.
Such a unique show where
Somebody asked me today if he's dead. I was like,
"Oh, he's got to be."
I think long.
He was
for 50 years.
He was an old man then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for those that never heard it, it was just this old guy that would always have this sort of poetic description about a game, and he would pick the loser of the game rather than the winner. And why people love that, I don't know. Like
the way it was written, Brown.
It was creative.
Bear Bryant's pachyderms crossing the border over into Mississippi to take on.
Would never work today. You could not pull it off today.
Johnny, well, there have been people that tried to do it.
Yeah.
How hokey does it sound?
Oh,
now?
I'm sure it sounds super hokey.
Yeah.
And it was something that was popular then that you could never recreate. And the shtick was he did what Dunaway's talking about. And
General Vince Dooley's dogs leave the red clay.
And he would pick the loser instead of the winner. Leonard's loser, Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Always Vanderbilt.
They were a fixture of the show.
I think it's Brad that writes in LT. It was in school with you. His daughter for Christmas, I think just this past year, if it's right, sent him this. It's the...
Yeah, it's my man Brad Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know if it's framed or it's suitable for framing. It's the tickets from the 92 season.
So we were in school together down there in Tuscaloosa for that season. And I remember that first Vanderbilt game, the late Mark Pyburn, one of our fraternity brothers, was like, I don't know how good Alabama's going to be this year, but this defense is ridiculous. And I remember, I think they won that game like 25-7.
That sounds like Stallings.
Yeah, I mean, it was typical. That whole season was typical Stallings.
It really was.
Yep. I mean, what a bad home schedule.
Terrible home schedule.
Vandy, Southern Miss, La Tech. La Tech is the one that they had to survive.
I don't think they scored an offensive touchdown. I think the only touchdown was David Palmer punt return.
Yeah, and I think he was suspended in the first half.
Oh, I don't remember
maybe.
that.
And he came in the second half, returned the punt. I think he returned the punt. Antonio Langham tells the story. Returns the punt, looked at the camera, and said, "I'm back."
Oh, did he?
Yeah, when he got into the end zone.
This has probably been embellished just a little bit.
Touch over
South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Auburn.
Boy, that is a crap home schedule.
The Auburn game was obviously at Legion Field. That
so
was
too
the
was
one
La
on
Tech, I think.
Thanksgiving, I think La Tech was. I just don't remember a lot of those games.
I don't either. They played much better road games that year.
They played at Arkansas on the road.
They played at Tennessee that year.
For our listeners under
State.
30, I remember listening to national radio out of Tuscaloosa back then, and I remember Bobby Bowden campaigning that Alabama was not the second best team, that they should have a rematch with Miami.
Really?
And I remember most of the national media agreed, like, this Alabama team, they cannot hold up to the speed of Miami.
Well, Gene Stallings never scheduled out of conference worth of crap. His out of conference schedules were never very good.
Yep.
And that's how you end up playing La Tech at home and Southern Miss at home.
Now, Southern Miss back then was a lot more difficult than they are now. In fact, it was the Tennessee game before you knew if Alabama was any good or not.
Yeah, because they played such a bad out-of-conference schedule. Gene Stallings scheduled terribly out of conference. I never really understood why he did that. So
boring.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, now, he played Penn State, but he inherited that one. That was the back end of Bill Curry when Alabama went up there in '89. Then they played Penn State his first year in '90. Got shut out at home for homecoming. Other than that, I think the best non-conference game, unless I'm forgetting one, that he scheduled was NC State. I mean, think about that for a second.
I don't think he was happy about it.
Well, that's the one where he got in the argument with Mike O'Kane, right? That you saw.
Yeah, that's Torrey Holt was in that game.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Ram connection.
You lose your first 3 games at your new job and see if you schedule tough out of conference.
No, I do remember. You bring up Tennessee, and I remember I was heading to used to be Livingston University, now the University of West Alabama. My ex-wife Bethany was in school down there, and she had a big party, and it was homecoming, and so I was heading down there, and I remember watching the game there, and that's when I did realize I was like, damn, this team's pretty good going on the road in Knoxville, knocking off Tennessee.
It seemed like every year it's like, I wonder if Alabama. We'll find out this weekend. They play Tennessee.
If you remember, that was, unless I am mistaken, that was the year Johnny Majors missed the first part of the season because of a health issue. You're talking about '92, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Majors had missed the first part of the season because of a health issue, and Phil Former was the interim coach, and they were undefeated. And then, as I remember it, the week Majors came back, Arkansas beat them the week before Alabama. And that was the Arkansas team, first year in the conference, that Jack Crow got fired after the first game.
Citadel.
The Citadel beat Arkansas in Little Rock, I think, the first game of the season. Jack Crow gets fired. They named Joe Kynes interim coach, and he hires Danny Ford as basically a consultant. Danny Ford ends up coaching the team, gets the head coaching job. They beat Tennessee the week before Alabama because it was setting up to be this massive national game.
Yeah.
And Fulmer hands it back off to Majors, and Majors craps the bed against Arkansas before they could even play Alabama.
Probably an inside job. Buster Olney in 20 minutes. We'll get to him. Show being brought to you in part by a couple of our great sponsors, including our friends at Odie's, where last night the guys gathered and did a little trivia. What was the question last night?
Question last night, Rockstar was out, so we'll let Rockstar take a shot at this. What came first, Halle Berry or Red Lobster?
I know who died first. Red Lobster.
They're on life support right now.
I'll say Red Lobster was 73. I'll say Halle Berry first.
So Halle Berry did celebrate a birthday yesterday on the show.
Red Lobster around in the 60s. I'm going to go Red Lobster is older.
Halle Berry turned 58 yesterday, 1966. Red Lobster rolled out in 1968.
Wow.
So Halle Berry actually
older than Red Lobster.
Some of the little factoids you will learn. People got to hear some rap lyrics last night.
They did. Lance, rap lyrics.
Every Wednesday night, Odie's Team Trivia. Make sure you stop in Crestline Village, the original location. Now the newest location in Edgewood. Great food from Rodney Davis. I had that south of the border wrap last night. Fantastic. Stop in, see Woolhaven. That great staff. Ice cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. It's Odie's Tavern.
5 games that will wreck the college football playoffs, then Buster Olney. Straight ahead.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at scottforestertv.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. Unfortunately, over the past year, I've noticed significant hair loss. I asked around, and everyone said call Dr. Beckenstein. He is the absolute best. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration right here in Alabama, and he remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of hair restoration and cosmetic procedures. He uses that experience and his advanced training to help his patients fully understand his procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, we'll get right into LT's 5 games that's going to wreck the college football playoffs. But I will tell you, great new content up right now at The Barn, auburn.com. Kyle, Zach, they got stuff happening every day. Brad, it's just nonstop. TheBarnAuburn.com, and a new show dropping right now at covercrimson.com. Covercrimson.com with Chris Marler and Clint Lamb. In fact, Tyler just sent a link out in the mybookie.ag chat room if you want to go check that out after our show today or during our show today, whenever you want to check it out at covercrimson.com. Currently called Meat and 3, could turn into Clint Marler or Kill or anything like that. They're working on a name, so go check that out.
Clint Marler or Kill.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of something on the golf course yesterday that rhymed with chest hair.
Chest hair
and something, but I can't think of the and something.
Yeah. We were trying to think of a lot of things on the golf course yesterday.
Like how I could quit making double bogeys.
Our friends at Precision, you played great yesterday.
I did not.
Our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedic, they're your provider to get you back in the game. 205-512-3885, 512-3885. We were talking to the folks at Precision Sports yesterday, and I didn't realize how many people up here they've actually helped. Keeping us in the game. They'll do it for you too. Tweaks, pulls, pains, and breaks. They'll do it all. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. Listen, best part about them, not only do we trust our daughters, our kids, send them there, but they diagnose you, they treat you, but then they help you through the rehab process, which to get a good full recovery, that's what you get. Diagnose, treat, and rehab. Locations in Jasper and Alabaster and Fultondale, all around the Birmingham metro area. Orthopedic care, better together. Find your provider today. 205-512-3885, 512-3885, PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. I'll discuss the Phil Steele after the AP poll rankings out. The toughest schedules in college football. But he's got Alabama listed as the 9th toughest schedule in college football. I'm interested to see if LT has an Alabama game as 5 games that wrecks the college football playoffs.
5 games this college football season that will absolutely throw the 12-team playoff out of whack. And I will go on and tell you, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Texas will miss the college football playoff.
All 3 of them will miss. Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Texas.
So you're predicting that today, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Texas, all 3.
And I'm going to give you the key games that will cost them. We're going to start August 31st, 2 weeks from Saturday, College Station, number 7 Notre Dame, number 20 Texas A&M. A&M right now a 2.5-point favorite. I think this number will tick up a little bit based on some of the injuries from the Irish. Here are key things to look at. Mike Elko is taking over a program that's got a lot of talent. And if we go back last year, Duke was hosting Notre Dame. Duke had them on the ropes. Notre Dame was fourth and forever. They convert. They score a touchdown. Riley Leonard has to come back on the field. He gets hurt. Season is derailed. Before he gets hurt, though, Mike Elko's defense against Notre Dame's offense held Notre Dame to 2 of 15 on third downs. Now Mike Elko, as a head coach, will go back against this offense against his former quarterback in Riley Leonard. He knows the pros and cons of Leonard. I think Leonard's going to have a long day. I think Connor Wegman has a coming out party. I think A&M wins that game. And don't sleep on this. Now, if the Irish win, they're probably going to be 8-0 hosting Florida State in South Bend on November 9th. But if A&M wins this game on the 31st, they could be favored in their next 10 games leading up to the final game against Texas.
Which you have already circled.
So I think that loss, people will look back and be like, that's the loss that cost Notre Dame and maybe propelled A&M to a different situation.
While you're on that, side note, Notre Dame sent to all their students in an email, final exams, a new date ending final exams. It'll end on Thursday, December the 19th. And it says in there, we're moving exam dates so that the college football playoffs start on Friday the 20th and Saturday the 21st. So students, if they want to attend the college football playoffs, they don't have to worry about exams. If we're hosting a playoff game, we don't have to worry about exams going on Friday, a crazy weekend on campus. So final exams end on Notre Dame. They changed the date yesterday, December 19th, for them to be in the playoffs. They changed the date for no reason, according to LT.
I think a two-loss Notre Dame team would be a fascinating study. Because when you start looking at a two-loss Notre Dame team, it's likely that it's going to be one of these three teams, or two of these three teams, their losses. At Texas A&M, Florida State at home, or at USC. That's probably their three toughest games.
And Louisville
might
I know
be,
that game's in South Bend.
Yeah.
If Notre Dame does lose this game week 1, they better hope that there are some other good teams on this schedule, ending up being good, as in Louisville and USC.
Because two-loss Notre Dame, if it's two of those three teams, they've got one ranked win, and that may not even be the case, right? I mean, that's assuming let's say USC's the win. USC's in the bottom of the top 25 right now, assuming they stay there.
Yeah, and what continues the fascinating story is Notre Dame has signed off to get us to this point, so you want to give them some leeway to keep them in it,
I guess.
But also, if you're the Big Ten and you want to ever force them to join the conference, leaving 10-2 Notre Dame out, if you're not pulling any strings trying to help them get in, if you want to help them join your conference, you could also throw some roadblocks up.
That's just, if you've only got one ranked win and you're a 10-2 team, that is a hard case to make to me, but it is Notre Dame.
Now, with the expansion of the playoffs to 12, now we've got a Group 5 that will automatically be in this postseason field, which I like. A lot of people don't. A lot of people look to Boise State, but others look to Liberty based on schedule. So I'm going to jump ahead to Week 5, September 28th. If I asked you guys this question, what is the winningest program over the last decade to not make the college football playoff?
Winningest program over the last decade not to make the college football playoff, I am going to say that team is James Madison.
They haven't been Division I for 5 years, though, have they? Or they haven't been FBS for 5 years.
He didn't say that. He said winning.
He did say that, but I assume to make the playoffs, they got to be in the FBS. Appalachian State?
Boom.
Yeah. I mean,
September 28th, Week 5, Kidd Brewer Stadium, Boone, North Carolina. Appalachian State out of the Sun Belt, Liberty now in Conference USA. This is by far their most difficult game. They are the winningest program to not make the college football playoff. They've won 95 games over the last decade. Sean Clark is going into year 5, and Joey Aguilar is a really good quarterback that nobody talks about. 6'3", 220 pounds. He can run it.
8-5 last year, though, right?
3,700 yards passing. 33 touchdowns. They will be better this year. This is a game that Liberty, I think, will be a slight underdog. One loss, we know Liberty's out based on that schedule. So I think this will shake Liberty, and I think it will define somebody else from the Group 5.
These are LT's 5 games that will wreck the college football playoffs. being brought to you in part today by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa, keeping you chill and relaxed as the tension of a chase for a playoff spot heats up.
Yeah, make sure you stop into the Woodhouse Day Spa, located conveniently at the Summit Shopping Centers. They've got a slew of great services. Think about this. You're going to be watching football all day, even next weekend, week 0. Send the wife or girlfriend to Woodhouse. They're going to absolutely love that. They'll leave you alone when you're at the sports bar in your basement. Choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7. Go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com or just stop in, see Stuart and all the fine folks right there at the Summit Shopping Centers.
I don't love it when it happens, but if Liberty is the team that's in the playoffs, I'm okay with somebody saying they did it with Hugh Freeze's players. I mean, he brought some talent in while he was there.
Week 10. Now, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you know that it is college football playoff or bust, coming off 11 wins.
It should be your expectation, yep.
Week 10, Ole Miss travels to Fayetteville. And, Brown, I think you've brought this game up before.
Crap, yeah.
Now, if you look at Ole Miss, they're listed as a 7-point favorite in that game right now. 27-20, they went in Oxford last year. But if you look at the 4 meetings that Sam Pittman has been the head coach, they have struggled with Arkansas. It's been a 2-2 split. Sam Pittman has actually outscored the Rebels 146-127 in those 4 years. I personally think Sam Pittman will be out. Bobby Petrino will be the guy in this. But leave it to Lane Kiffin. He's going to have to shit the bed in the game for Ole Miss not to make the college football playoff. And I think it's against Arkansas November 2nd.
All right, so we're into November with Arkansas, and the reason we were talking about that was the natural time to fire Sam Pittman if it's not going well is during a bye week. That comes either before the LSU game or before the Texas game. If it's midseason, it's before the LSU game, and we were talking about how could Bobby Petrino earn the job full time. Well, he's got some winnable games after that bye week. Mississippi State on the road, La Tech at home. And we said if he could pick off one of these, he might get the job. LSU at home, Ole Miss at home, Texas at home, or at Missouri. Pick off one of those. You finish still 3-4, but you've shown signs of improvement. It might get him the job. You say it would be Ole Miss right there. And I don't know if that's enough to get him the job or not, but that would be fascinating. Where does that fall?
We move forward.
Well, hang on. I was going to see where it fell for Ole Miss. Oh, my gosh. Have you looked at this, where it falls for Ole Miss? Yeah. Did you say that?
No, but that was part of it.
Yeah. It's right between Oklahoma and Georgia. Road trip. That is
Oklahoma on the front side, Georgia on the back side.
Classic trap game.
2 home games, too. Oklahoma and Georgia at home, and you're traveling to Arkansas. Oh, that is classic.
And
trap
Arkansas
game.
is going to be one of those teams that probably only wins 4 or 5 games. But I think Arkansas is going to be a difficult out. And for whatever reason, that has been an incredible game over the last 4 years.
Their quarterback is from where? Because Jacoby Criswell.
Taylor Green, Boise State.
Boise State, right. Jacoby's battling at North Carolina, not going to win the job, it doesn't look like. And then Jefferson is at UCF.
Yes.
Okay.
Week 11, November 9th, the Tiger Sooner Peace Pipe is back.
I love the Peace Pipe.
Now, if you guys didn't realize what the Tiger Sooner Peace Pipe series was, I didn't really either. Don't remember this out of the Big 12. I do remember the complete domination by Oklahoma going back the last time they played 2011. They won 20 of the last 22. Missouri right now listed as a 3.5-point favorite here. Missouri, I just can't see a world where they're in a college football playoff. Their schedule is beneficial, but one of the games they can't lose is at home in Columbia. I think Oklahoma rolls in and beats them.
Yeah,
I think by that time, Jackson Arnold is really settled down.
Coming off a bye for Missouri, so they're coming off a bye for that game after they have played Alabama. Alabama bye week host Oklahoma. At Alabama bye week host Oklahoma for them.
Announcement today, complete sellout for Missouri games.
I mean, I can't imagine that.
We expect Missouri to lose to Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And if they lose one other game, I think they're on the cusp at 10-2.
I agree completely because, again, it's back to the same thing with Notre Dame. You wouldn't have a whole lot of great wins to hang your hat on. We've talked about how beneficial that Missouri schedule is. That cuts both ways. You lose 2 games, you don't have a ton to hang your hat on.
And you've got to be lucky and healthy. Missouri, as Brown said yesterday, lost Smith at their defensive end, the guy who came from Georgia. Reading more into that, we didn't know what kind of impact he's having. He was going to be rotating at the position like most of those guys do, but he was getting rave reviews from practice before that injury. He's out for the year.
Hate that.
So we started this list, 5 games that will throw the college football playoff out of whack. We started in College Station week 1. We end in College Station rivalry week, November 30th. I will stick to this. I think Texas, with that schedule, is going to roll into College Station at 9-2, win in, lose their out. That place is going to be just completely bonkers. And, we've talked to different people from Chip Brown that say there's no way A&M fans are selling their tickets. First matchup since 2011. Texas right now is a 3.5-point favorite. Offshore books, I think that number comes down. I think A&M actually beats them, and I think that's the third loss, and I think Texas is on the outside looking in. And I don't think any SEC fan base outside of Texas is going to be upset about that.
Nope, not one bit.
And I think most SEC fans would be excited about that, because then it's like,
welcome
you boys came into our league, and Texas and Oklahoma, neither one of you made the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. They would love that. So I think most SEC fans would be fired up about that.
And I'll give, the Associated Press coaches poll credit, because A&M and Oklahoma are both in this poll. I think A&M, people are sleeping on A&M, and I think Oklahoma's really good. I just think their schedule's brutal. Again, Oklahoma could go 6-6, have 2 top 10 wins, and still be 6-6.
We had them in our 40 and 40 at number 24. We, all of you guys who voted on that, at 24, Texas A&M, and we had Oklahoma at 15. So we were about in the right neighborhood with Oklahoma, a little lower on Texas A&M, but we had them both ranked.
Yeah, and I
well.
think Oklahoma might talent-wise be a top 15 team. I don't think there's any way. And, we had Reese Davis on the show yesterday, and he said typically good teams, they don't find losses, they find wins. But I think with Oklahoma's schedule, I think it's asking a lot for them to navigate a 9-3.
Not everybody sees Oklahoma's schedule as tough as we do. According to Phil Still, our A-plus fact of the day, he has Florida as the toughest schedule in college football.
It's one of the toughest I've ever seen. They play 35% of the top 20.
Georgia
think about
is
that for a second.
Georgia's 8th, Alabama's 9th toughest. Just rolling through the SEC. Kentucky. Nope, excuse me, who's next there? It is Vanderbilt's 14th toughest, Mississippi State 16th toughest. They have Oklahoma 17th toughest. I think that schedule is a lot tougher than that.
I disagree with that.
I do too. Arkansas 18th toughest, Kentucky 24th toughest, LSU 26th, South Carolina 32nd toughest, A&M 33rd toughest, Texas 36th toughest in the nation, Ole Miss 40th, Tennessee 52nd, Auburn, the 56th toughest schedule. Only Missouri has an easier schedule in the SEC than Auburn, according to Phil Still's magazine. That's an A-plus fact of the day.
A-plus Tile Home Remodeling is who redid the master bathroom in the Brown house. When it came time to do it, Jennifer, my wife, jumped right on that internet. She started scouring the internet looking for the best person for the job. She talked to contractors, people that had used certain contractors, read a ton of reviews. Brad Bell was the name she came up with. We're thrilled she did. Brad came to us and looked at what we wanted to do as a project in our home, and that was what he did. He didn't try to sell us on some project. Lance liked his work so much, Lance used him for his master bath and his kitchen. And those are two of the things Brad specializes in: master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. It's important rooms when you own your home, but when you go to sell your home, you're going to get some money back on those 3 rooms. They really pop when people come look at a home. So any remodel you're looking to do in your home, especially if it's master bath, kitchen, or master bedroom closets, call Brad Bell. Here is his number, 205-422-1758. Anywhere in Alabama, Brad can help you. I will give you a testimony to his work. So will Lance. So will so many other satisfied next round audience members. 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, A-plus Tile Home Remodeling, Major League Baseball with our man Buster Olney is next.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family, all at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Right to Buster we go to talk a little baseball. So kind with our time. Buster, I want to ask you right off the bat, if you're Michael Harris and you finish your rehab, you're ready to join the Braves in San Francisco, are those usually private jets? The team fly you commercial? How do I get out to the city by the bay to jack one into the water? Is there any protocol into that?
So most of the time when most players go and make that trip, they're taking commercial flights and flying first class, okay? Now, they always have the option of taking private jets. I mean, that's, just it probably goes player to player. Michael Harris certainly has enough money where if he wanted to do that, having signed that long-term contract, he could do that. When I worked on Sunday Night Baseball with Curt Schilling, the rest of us would get up at 6 a.m. to go on flights, back to where we came from. And Schill was always the guy with the private jet after the games. Alex Rodriguez always had his private jet after we did those Sunday night broadcasts. My guess is that Michael Harris probably flew first class commercial. Not a bad life.
Yeah. So not only Michael Harris coming back from the injured list yesterday, Walker Buehler. And I asked you last week about Clayton Kershaw, or 2 weeks ago. And Buehler at 30 now, 1-4, almost a 6 ERA. Are we ever going to see the Walker Buehler that we thought would be just an absolute stud from 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, it's an open question, I think. And I know him well enough to know. I mean, he's going to put in the work, but you just wonder how much tread is off the tire. That's the reality of it. When they slow played in spring, they've had a couple times in the last 2 years where they felt like, okay, he's there where we want him to be, and then something happened. It was some kind of a setback. We went back on the injury list this season. As him being a Vanderbilt guy, I'm rooting for him. I just don't know the answer to that, though. And that's, when you look at the Dodgers and we try to project what's going to happen in the postseason, it's amazing how many guys on that staff where you're like, well, we don't know where he's going to be physically when we get to the playoffs. What's Kershaw going to be? What's Walker Buehler going to be by that time? Will he be back? Will Tyler Glasnow be able to, having thrown a career-high number of innings, where will he be physically? They bet on a lot of those type of guys. And, if I'm sitting here today, I think that's a tough formula to have success in October. not knowing what you're going to get out of them physically.
ESPN's Buster Olney with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I don't know how many people could identify the team with the best record in Major League Baseball right now. The Cleveland Guardians just kind of do it without a – is it fair to say – let me just say this. Is it fair to say, Buster, they do it without a major star? I mean, this is a true team. It's not like there's this one major star that they've got that, you know, the Dodgers would have or the Yankees would have.
That's right. I mean, casual baseball fans – probably other than Jose Ramirez, would not be able to name a guy, even though they have the best reliever in the planet, Emmanuel Clase, their closer, and they have this incredible bullpen. What's been different about the Guardians this year versus recent years is their offense is better, although, lately it's kind of gone downhill a little bit, but their bullpen is so good, guys. It is absolutely lights out. If they have a lead after 4 or 5 innings with Class A at the back end of it. I know from my conversation with Chris Antonetti, head of baseball operations, they have been concerned about the back end of the rotation and how, the impact of that on their bullpen. Here's the good thing. Once they get into the playoffs, it's been demonstrated by teams like the Rangers last year, the Diamondbacks last year, that if you just have a couple of starters and a really deep bullpen, you can make a dent in October, which is why I think Cleveland's really dangerous once we get to the playoffs.
300 home runs, Aaron Judge, the guy's a star. Put that historically into context for us, what Aaron Judge has done.
Nobody else has done it better, right? At the beginning of their careers, they have that many home runs early. And I can remember a conversation with Aaron Boone, his manager, earlier this year when I asked him, he said, what has changed about and what has evolved with Judge during the course of his career? And he talked about his precision, how his command of the strike zone, which has always been good, has gone next level now. And he will not swing at pitches out of the zone. When he was a younger hitter, opposing pitchers would often get him to chase sliders low and away. And being 6'7", 282 pounds, according to Baseball Reference, the biggest position player in Major League Baseball history. He had that big strike zone to cover. He's learned how to do it. And as Booney said, it feels like he's not a mere mortal in that when he hits a line drive, it's a base hit to left field. If he hits a ball squarely, it's going to go, which is why it was such a shock last night when Grady Sizemore, the manager of the White Sox, elected to intentionally walk Juan Soto to get to Aaron Judge. It was the first time the hitter in front of Judge had been intentionally walked. Judge makes him pay by hitting a 3-0 pitch for a home run for number 300. And he admitted after the game he was upset when he saw the White Sox were intentionally walking the guy ahead of him.
Buster, once we get to the postseason, what team from the West is scarier? From the AL West, the Houston Astros, or the NL West, San Diego Padres?
You can make a case that right now, if you did a pure power rankings on how teams are playing, that the Diamondbacks and the Padres are the two best teams in baseball right now. Those guys are playing so well. To answer your question, I think Houston's experience always makes them so dangerous. I remember last year when the Astros started to struggle, people began to write them off. And then you guys remember when the Astros won the West and Alex Bregman, when they were doing the post-game celebration, and he's speaking to the team, and he's got that bottle of champagne, and he said, people are wondering what's going to happen when the Astros don't win the West. And then he paused. He goes, I guess we'll never know. Like they have a mystique about them, and that experience really becomes a weapon for them. And to see them turn it on, with Bregman, Yordan Alvarez hitting, without the benefit of Kyle Tucker, this is a dangerous team going forward. And I'd say this too about the Mariners. I just saw them last weekend. If you put that pitching staff in October, they would be a really interesting team because they have so much depth with that great pitching they have.
Buster Olney with us from ESPN. They'll be in Williamsport. We'll talk about that in a moment. The Sunday night game at the Little League World Series, always a cool venue there. We'll talk with Buster about that in a second. I don't know why we end up talking about the White Sox every week. It's the train wreck. It's the reason people go to Talladega to watch the wrecks. By my math, they've got 40 games left. They're 37.5 back in the wild card, so they're very close to being eliminated from the postseason. How early can you remember a team actually being eliminated from the postseason, Buster? I mean, this could happen before August is even over. Likely will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I don't remember a team eliminated this early, and it becomes more difficult, especially now with the 16 playoff field, right? That gives it a little bit longer length of rope that the White Sox can say they weren't eliminated. But the fact is that the White Sox now are in competition with the 62 Mets to be the worst team ever. And the last I checked, they were behind the pace of that team. After 120 games, the 62 Mets were 30-90, nice round numbers, and the White Sox are 29-91. And it's a legitimate question as you go down the stretch, can they get to 40 wins? And the other day when the Yankees played them and they beat the Yankees 12-2, can you imagine what that loss must have felt like for the Yankees, and how it's going to feel for any contender that loses to them down the stretch? Like, it's going to feel like if you're Alabama and you're playing a Division 1A, AA team in football. Like, you are expected to win, and that does not happen in Major League Baseball.
It should be noted, that was an expansion Mets team, though, right? That was their first season playing baseball. Am I right about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that we have to crown, assuming the White Sox don't go on surprising run of wins here, I think the White Sox have an excellent chance to go down after this year as the worst team in baseball history.
Wow. And I was going to get you when you get to Williamsport. That's a great segment. Get somebody from ESPN to ask kids up there, how many of you guys think your team could beat the White Sox?
And having had a lot of conversations with a lot of little leaguers for this Little League Classic through the years, there'll be some who'd say, "Oh, we'd win."
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there are some confident kids, confident 11 and 12-year-olds.
Yeah, we can't beat the Yankees. Yeah. We'll watch them play the Tigers. Tigers probably get us. We could beat the White Sox.
Buster, coming out of the All-Star break, Paul Skeens was your National League Rookie of the Year. I was reading this morning, his odds have dramatically dropped from minus 4,000 to just minus 225. Is there a chance he doesn't win National League Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, and it's because of Jackson Merrill and how he's ascending. You were asking about the Padres before. Jackson Merrill is at the heartbeat of what they're doing. To watch him play in center field for them, it was a surprise when he was on the roster to start the season. And I remember having a conversation with Mike Schilt, their manager, at the time they put him on the roster. He said, he just looks like a guy who's going to be the guy, have that Derek Jeter-like presence throughout his career because he has so much confidence and he's sure that he's going to succeed. We had this recent run of games where I think he hit the game tying or game-winning home run like 4 times in the span of a week in the late innings. And I texted with Schilt the other day about this. He goes, he's just not afraid. Like he just loves to play. And I also love the fact that when Jackson's been asked about Rookie of the Year, he just dismisses it out of hand. He's like, I don't care about that. Like I'm excited about what we're doing. I still think Skeens will win. I mean, he started the National League All-Star game. He's a dominant pitcher. You can make a case he's the best pitcher on the planet right now. There is going to be a question about volume by the end of the year. But Jackson Merrill has had a huge impact, and I think he's the reason why those odds are changing.
Buster, they will tell you I am the absolute king of reading a headline and not taking time to read the story. And I'm sure as a writer at heart, you love hearing that. Your colleague,
having been yelled at by players through the years so many times.
I know.
What kind of a headline was that? And you're like, I don't write the headline.
I know. I'm the guy. I'm that guy. Your colleague Jesse Rogers has a story up at ESPN.com. I did read the headline this morning, meant to go back and read the story, but forgot to. Why a 6-inning minimum for starting pitchers could rock MLB, and it's more realistic than you think. I read that headline, and it sounds like Major League Baseball is thinking of instituting a policy. If you start, you got to pitch 6 innings. Am I reading that wrong?
Well, I would say this. I mean, that is a headline designed to grab your attention for sure.
All right.
One of the things they want to get to is for starting pitchers to have their preeminence restored. And we've had this conversation before about, what's next in terms of Major League Baseball trying to augment the offense. They want to get away from this parade of, 5 and 6 relievers per game all coming in throwing 99 miles per hour. They want to get back to that place where starting pitchers are important again. And they have been having conversations the last couple of years about how to do that with rules. And, one of the ideas is, well, you could put a minimum on the starting pitcher. He has to go deep. I mean, that's unrealistic. But what I think they may do is something along the lines of you can only use 3 or 4 relievers during the course of a game, making managers make decisions, and also forcing organizations to develop starting pitchers to work longer into games. The sport has become this practice. The practice within the sport has been don't let your starting pitcher face the opposing lineup third time through. Well, Major League Baseball knows if they put in rules that lead to that happening, offensive numbers are going to go up. But it's pretty clear that if the sport wants to improve the offense, they have to get away from this situation where you have the parade of relievers coming in and dominating hitters in the way they have been in recent years.
And I saw somewhere maybe if you pull a starter early, you lose your designated hitter, right? Yeah,
the double hook. Max Scherzer was actually the first one to tell me about this idea last fall, where you give incentive to the manager to leave the starting pitcher in longer by tying the starting pitcher to the designated hitter. Once the DH or once the starting pitcher would come out, according to Max's plan, then the DH also would be lost, forcing teams to go to to more of a pinch hitter type thing. And if you have a Yordan Alvarez, you're going to want to keep the starting pitcher in the game longer.
Yeah, that's I would like that rule.
I love that idea.
Yeah, almost bring back the way the National League used to have to manage when they would do double swaps and all of that. As just a real funny, my mind, I'm not great with names. You were mentioning Merrill of the Padres, trade deadline. The Rays send Paredes to the Cubs, and what was the kid we get back from Chicago? It was Morel or something like that. I thought we got
Christopher Morel.
Yeah, I thought we'd gotten Merrill. When I saw it on the ticker, I was like, we got Merrill from the Padres?
Nope.
Turns out it was Morel. Yeah, I was really pumped up for that trade until I found out it wasn't that guy at all.
All right, it will be Yankees-Tigers Sunday night, 6 o'clock from Williamsport. BB&T Ballpark at Bowman Field there in Williamsport. Buster and the crew will be there. And I know that's always cool, Buster, where the little leaguers actually get to interact with their heroes, some of those great Major League players.
It is going to be the greatest because, and I can't wait to see I always love looking at the face of little leaguers as they get to meet their heroes. But this year, because the Yankees are playing the Tigers, they're going to go face-to-face with the Paul Bunyan of baseball and Aaron Judge. And one of my ideas on our Zoom prep call today was put a GoPro on Judge that captures the look on the faces of these kids when they see him for the first time. And I think another thing we're going to do is to have little leaguers do a contest where they try to imitate the Soto shuffle, with Soto being the judge in the middle of the players. That could be, and I think we're going to do it. I think that could be unbelievable fun.
Oh, wow. Little League Classic, 6 o'clock ESPN. Rockstar always laughs at the Rockstar. What is the kid who's got the scratchy voice that always likes the old player?
My name is Thomas Smith, and I love, my favorite player is Stan Musial.
Yeah, he's always got like a player for the 60s, like old school kid.
Yeah.
All right, Buster, thank you. Enjoy Williamsport. We'll see you next week.
Okay, that sounds great, guys. Take care.
All right, see you. Buster with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline again, 6 o'clock for that Yankees-Tigers game.
Before LT tells us about our great friends at New York Butcher Shop, I was watching at lunch yesterday. Mexico is playing the Aruba from the Caribbean champions, and the Mexico pitcher, every time he'd throw a fastball, you remember how Fernando would start by looking in his windup? He'd look at center field.
Well, I mean, his eyes would roll back in his head.
He'd look up.
Yeah, Louis Tiant was
turn
one
his
center
back,
field, but he'd look up. The Mexican pitcher, when he would let go of the ball, he was looking at the ground he was throwing so hard. That was his pitching motion. He'd let go looking at the ground to the left. He was putting every ounce of his 88 pounds into that fastball. It was crazy. Tell us about our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
Yeah, just a couple of nights ago, got into the 119 location, picked up one of those great Angus prime beef steaks, but they've got the burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you. Don't forget about those huge sandwiches for the huge deli sandwiches for lunch, catering options for the next business lunch with a great selection of fines, wines, and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Highway 119 in Greystone, also Cahaba Heights. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Did you ever have to face that pitcher who hit puberty before everybody else? Ooh. And he was like the stud of the league. Yeah. He had, all of a sudden, everybody else was throwing like, the equivalent of an 80-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's running it up there at 98.
Yeah, with a little bit of a mustache, getting driven to practice by his girlfriend.
Yeah, his voice would crack.
He's 13, supposedly, and his girlfriend's driving him to practice. Rockstar's 4 Downs is in the next segment. More college football at the top of the hour. Don't forget the Pennant Grace later today, 12:15, off the Braves' big win in San Francisco. They found their offense. You just heard Buster there. Go back. If you missed it earlier this week, Reese Davis yesterday, really entertaining. Steve Shaw, the head of national officials in college football, fascinating conversation with him, good 22 minutes long. Go back and check that wherever you get our podcast. Show being brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City. Hopefully we'll see Greg tonight at our kickoff party, which is happening tonight. Greg wants to get on your roof before he comes to the kickoff party. Give him a call for a free no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. He can handle storm repairs, roof replacements, but it gives you a free, no cost, no obligation roof inspection. Trusted by insurance agents that helps you with any claim. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. 20 years locally owned. He and his wife run it. You look him up on Facebook. Greg from Pell City. It is Storm Restoration Roofing.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Rockstar's 4 Downs in just a second. Part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. I saw Tim Lunceford, John's dad, there one time a few weeks ago. What a great gift we got earlier today.
I didn't realize he made furniture.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Have you tried to pick that thing up yet?
Negative.
I did a little military press with him a minute ago.
You did not.
I asked him, my question was like, who in the hell brought this thing up here?
Yeah, Tim Lunceford made it. It's I got a couple of pictures. I'll send it to Forrest. We'll show it maybe before trash. But he has made this table. It's
It's a one of one.
My dad makes fun of it when I say things like this. It's real wood, but it's not like that cheap stuff.
Press board. It's not press board.
It's not
particle board.
Yeah, particle board.
It's not particle board. It's a real piece of wood, and then it's real solid metal, steel, iron, whatever it is. I asked Kelsey and Lunceford out in the lobby. I was like, "Did y'all have this on location yesterday?" They were at Culver's. The Meltdown was. And they were like, no. And I went to pick it up to see, and I was like, well, I see why. I'm surprised.
Right.
I'm surprised it's not sitting in the third floor right now, not through the fourth floor up here. But just an amazing piece of artwork that is in our lobby now, part of our anniversary celebration. 3 years of doing this. Kickoff party tonight, right there at Walk-Ons, 5 o'clock. Hopefully Tim will be out there. The Luncfords will be there. Way to Wellness is your journey to healthy living. The Meltdown guys, Tim and John, are running through the Way to Wellness program right now. I've done it for years. They're keeping me alive with the control of my blood pressure and cholesterol numbers. Every plan's different. Tim's is different. John's is different than Jim's and different from yours. Everything's designed specifically for you. The program's overseen by board-certified professionals, Leslie and her team there. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation, absolutely free. The website, again, aplanforme.com. Planforme.com, Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Before we get to Rockstar's 4 downs, 5-star offensive tackle Josh Petty becomes the first Georgia Tech 5-star commitment in modern-day college football history.
Whoa, modern day?
How's that even possible? Haven't they not had a legacy or something?
In the modern-day recruiting history, when they started with the 5 stars.
I think goes back to like 2002. Is it go that far back?
Maybe even into the 90s. I don't know.
I mean, the only people I could think of,
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson was going to be my first one, but I could see him not being a 5-star.
I don't know how, though, because it's documented. I think we've talked about it. Sean McVay was your Georgia High School Player of the Year that year. A quarterback that won state championship, and number 2 as runner-up was Calvin Johnson. Now, you understand Sean McVay, a 5'10" white quarterback's not going to be a 5-star guy, but you would think Calvin Johnson, just why? And it was such a weird fit because it was a Chan Gailey offense. You guys remember?
I do. Yeah. I think they have gone back and done this in retrospect and rated him a 5-star. But he was recruited by Georgia Tech, Miami, and Notre Dame. And obviously signed with Georgia Tech. That's the only one I could think of. Like, they've had some players.
Yeah.
I randomly saw yesterday, I can't remember what team I was looking at, but their running backs coach is Tashard Choice. You remember when he played at Georgia Tech? He was a really good player. Joe Hamilton was a good quarterback for them, but I don't know that any of those guys have been 5-stars.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the graphic that Forrester just showed you, you saw the tweet there.
Yeah.
It says from Josh Petty gives the Yellow Jackets their first 5-star commitment in the modern recruiting era. Georgia Tech now has the number 4 class in the ACC.
I would like number 4 class in the ACC, which probably only puts you like 30th in the nation, but still.
It's still good.
Better than they have been.
Yeah, you just got to win your league to get to the playoffs.
I'd like to see Brent Key get it squared away there. I like Brent Key. He's a local guy. He's got ties to our state.
Yeah.
And
9 days away from a big game from him. And everyone will be watching.
As Reese pointed out yesterday, weird stat out of Brent Key. He's 4-0 against ranked ACC teams. That's a trend and our angle.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would have known that.
No.
Let's get to 4 downs. It is brought to you by our friends at Slice. Rockstar does it for us every Thursday.
Hey, get a slice and a salad today. One of those 5 great locations. Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. The newest location in Edgewood. Get and see the Bajaya Brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
What sport has the best-looking athletes?
I don't think there's a wide range of great-looking athletes across any sport, but if I had to narrow one down, they did something on Twitter where they were sending, best-looking athletes out from Paris, and it seemed to me track and field was the best-looking. Track and field or swimming.
Hammer throw girls.
Are we going men or women here?
Men is swimming.
Athletes,
Yeah, I knew Jim was going to go
men
swimming.
is soccer and swimming.
Yeah.
So the bodies. You like a man's soccer body.
But
and a
don't
man's
look at
swim
their
body.
face.
If
man.
I could have a ideal body, it would be a soccer or swimming body.
Who do you imagine has the best body, like male soccer player or swimmer? Have you
I
seen
don't
one
know.
where you're like, God, I love that
Soccer
body?
players are usually short.
Did you get this belief from Maggie?
No, Men's Health magazine.
Are you more Ronaldo's body?
And I would want Michael Phelps back in the day.
Would you? He's tall now.
Yeah.
He's tall.
Long arms,
Yeah.
shoulders, big shoes.
Yeah.
Got shoulders.
Got flippers.
Good backstroke. Beach volleyball is going to be everyone's answer, women's volleyball, because of
well, they just wear skimpy stuff.
Yeah,
though.
I don't know if they necessarily look good.
wardrobe backyard action.
Wardrobe backyard action.
You guys will give me, I mean, for the most part, when you look at an entire roster, back to your degree of separation or whatever it is.
I think, but I don't.
You never look at all. It's not like you look at a cheerleading squad and you're like, or you look at a team like you look at a cheerleading squad.
Yeah, I think, Lance, but that is almost gender. It's not, I don't think that's gender specific.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's on both sides.
Yeah.
Very few people have the whole package. They're good looking and they're great athletes.
And it's always hard to tell at swimming because they've got those caps on, and then when they take their goggles off, they got those red circles around their eyes because those goggles are so tight.
And that Seine River pollution.
Yeah, I'm probably going to track's a good answer.
I think track and field is your answer.
I'm going to go water polo.
Now, I'm a heterosexual male, so a man is not a good looking guy to me, right? I'm not going to say, oh, that track and field guy. I saw the girl you're talking about from, I think, Germany.
I think there was a few of them.
I think there's one from Germany though, but it was controversial because they put her in one of the relays, and then one of the guys on the team was dating another girl, and he's like, she only got in there because she was good looking or something like that. And then the girl that won, I don't know her name, but she won the medal for us and something in track and field. Was very nice looking.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. It was a dash name. She had a double last name. Yeah. And
what was the chick, Allison Stokes, that used to run for Cal?
She married pole vaulter. She married Ricky Fowler. She married Ricky Fowler.
Yeah.
There was a girl, this is no joke, the girl that medaled in pole vaulting and twerked in part of her celebration. They mentioned this at Barstool. She is an OnlyFans influencer. I think she was Canadian, pole vaulter.
Look, I haven't been to a strip club
twerked.
since I went with you in 2015. But if her entrance was she poled and jumped onto the pole, like I don't know if she could pull that move off, but
that could draw you back in.
I would, that would draw me back in at least for the opening act.
What if she had a monkey?
Yeah,
on her shoulder.
Yeah, she also had a monkey, a therapeutic monkey.
Or the monkey does it too. He's got his little pole.
Second down,
so to speak.
What is something that won't exist in 10 years?
I'm going to go with the NCAA.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I just
answer.
think where we've come since 2020, not playing football, possibly 2021 NIL to where we are now, just the absolute Wild West, and people basically turning their heads up and their noses up to the NCAA. I just don't know if they're going to be around. I mean, 10 years is a long time. 2034, do you think they still exist?
No, I do not. I think it's within 5 years. I think you've nailed this. Actually, I just was not thinking. I normally, when we do this, I try to think outside sports terms, and that's the perfect answer. Not handsets on a desk, because the phone we use in there, Rockstar, is not a landline, right? That's a computer.
It's but
I think it's connected.
It's through a computer.
It's through like Wi-Fi.
Yeah, through Wi-Fi. When people call the show or we have a phone guest, I think actual landlines, like the telephone line you plug into a phone, done in 10 years. Now, the handset may still be on a desk, but there will not be a single...
Is it not done now?
No, I guarantee you somewhere out in the country, there's actual old school landline.
Who was the Tesla fellow, the inventor?
Elon Musk?
Elon Musk.
No.
Nikola Tesla?
Yes. So I saw something on social media in 1927. He basically talked about we're going to be able to connect world to world, a device in your pocket. Basically, was calling out the iPhone back in 1927.
Wow.
When is the last time, though, really, you've picked up a phone, a corded phone, and used it? Can you think of the last time you've done that?
Yesterday.
Well, you do it in there, though. Outside of in there, Rockstar. Outside of in there, when's the last time you've done it?
Hotel. I did it in a hotel.
Yeah, but my hotel the other day, I called to see where the pool was.
Yeah.
But it was cordless. It was cordless, and it didn't work. So
yeah. Mine was either in the Final Four or Elite 8 Sweet 16 in LA. Was getting room service.
But see, used to, like, even you might have to call down to valet to get them to pull your car around. Now, 9 times out of 10, it's just a text. You text your number.
Do you guys remember the last time? Do you think it's been within a decade? Actually, for any of our viewers or listeners that has actually put a quarter in a payphone and used it?
Can't tell you the last time.
Like if somebody was like, I'll give you $1,000 to make a phone call from a payphone in 30 minutes, do you think you could do it? Like, I don't know if you could find one.
No, I don't think I could. And I don't have a quarter. Boy, Travis Tritt's song just did not hold up well, right? Here's a quarter, call someone that cares. But watching the Americans, they use the payphone.
Oh,
all
they
the
wear
time.
it out.
They wear it out.
You
You
had
can't
to.
find them now.
You had to because you didn't want anybody to
Oh,
hear
you couldn't be a spy now.
Yeah.
Third down.
What celebrity has become more attractive as they've aged?
Give me some J-Lo. You can
I'm
pull
with you
her.
on that.
You can do the side by side. J-Lo gets better
I always
looking
say, I'm not
each and
saying
every
she's
year.
hot, but Roseanne, who looks a lot better
Oh,
now
she
than
does.
she did in
She does.
1988.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, Julie Louis-Dreyfus is my number one.
I could see
she
that.
is
That
good.
first season of Seinfeld compared to now.
Yeah,
I think Reese Witherspoon compared to, she's
No, I think
less teethy.
Yeah, if you go back to the Tracy flick, best role ever for Reese Witherspoon, I think it was 1998 in Election, to where she was starting the morning show. Now, much like Jennifer Aniston.
Well, a lot of Jennifer Aniston in the mybookie.ag
Yeah,
chat
but
room.
that's kind of curved
Leprechaun
back a little bit.
Yeah.
Jennifer
I mean,
Aniston
look,
in
age is
Friends,
undefeated.
you cannot beat Jennifer Aniston.
Oh,
in
no,
Friends.
she was better looking. When she started doing the, what's the high-end airline?
Emirates Air?
Yeah, where you could shower in it.
Yeah.
Those early commercials, and also for Smart Water like 5 or 6 years ago, that was her top shelf moment.
Paul says Zooey Deschanel.
I haven't seen her since that girl.
New girl.
I'm surprised you didn't correct me in the way I said her name.
That girl was that Sally Field?
Jay says Jennifer Garner.
I was going to say Jennifer Garner. Thank you, Jay.
There are a lot of women that become better looking once they get divorced. Amazing how that happens. But I think Jennifer Garner was one of those.
Kate Beckinsale's always looked good. Jessica Alba.
I was gonna say Beyonce. I think Beyonce looks better now.
Oh,
than she ever has.
good one, Troy. Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yeah, but she did that show after 90210, and it was with Bill Bellamy, and I forgot the other dude, and it was one season, but that was her height.
Great.
But she hangs in there now. She still looks
She
good
does
at
a
50.
cooking show.
Yeah.
Kelly McGillis has got to. She takes this trophy home.
I'll tell you, one of
right?
the saddest things I saw this morning was a picture of, maybe it was Amanda Bynes.
She's had a rough life.
Oh my
Amanda
gosh, it's
Bynes.
going.
I hadn't thought of her in forever.
Well, it's going around the internet, and it's
part of that Nickelodeon problem.
Yeah, but she wasn't interviewed on that documentary.
Yeah.
People were upset about.
Fourth down.
What is a tip you learned to save money?
I'm still trying to implement this. I'm getting much better, but eating at home. Like if you look at my credit card statement every month, 2/3 of it is eating out at night. So I'm trying to do better, eat a little healthier at home, go to the New York butcher shop, pick it up, bring it home.
Yeah.
But that will save you a lot of money.
It saves you a ton of money. Absolutely. I learned that during the pandemic when you ate at home a lot more. And absolutely.
This is going to vary for everyone. Set a price threshold, and any purchase above that price threshold, sleep on it one night. Just don't. It keeps you from being an impulsive buyer, right? How many times are you used to it being a store, now it's on the internet. Ooh, I got to have this. I'm going to buy it right now. Yeah. Sleep on it one night. If you still want it the next day, you're probably not as impulsive.
Yeah, and I learned this too in a store. Like if you see a piece of clothing and you're like, I like it, but don't love it. Like if you don't think you can live without it, walk.
Yeah. Yesterday, just because I didn't want to sweat in one of our next round hats, I paid $30 in the clubhouse for a hat that I don't know if I'll wear it again.
That's what you got.
Yeah, that is.
You
are the best with
my
money.
clothes at the airport.
It was a good-looking hat. Why would you not wear it again?
I
I know why you won't. You told me why you won't.
I may wear it.
No, you told me why you won't wear it.
You should have been Monty Brewster. You could have spent $1 million in however amount of time.
I've always
with
thought
nothing
that
to
was.
show for
I always thought it was easy.
Child's play.
Always thought it was easy. That's 4 Downs, brought to you by Slice. The show also being brought to you by Hemp Hill Services, the folks that bring you lanceslock.com.
Trust a number that Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Whether any of these issues arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and the experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, LT's getting worked on over here. It's hard keeping Steve Austin alive. He's the $6 million man.
So we got Daniel Jones
TV.
in. Nurse for 15 years now?
13 years.
13 years now. Obviously, Alabama fan. You see the script today there.
Fanny ball, too.
Oh, next round shirt. We'll get you some gear before you leave. But Hydrolife Therapy in studio, we did this all fall last year. We're excited to kick this back off as we kick off our kickoff party. Daniel was at the kickoff party last year, but IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. This is the one thing I hate. Like, I don't mind giving blood. I hate the blood pressure thing.
Do you want to bet on his blood pressure, Jim? Can we bet on your blood pressure? Do you mind us sharing it on the air?
I don't care. Yeah.
You want to bet on it, Jim? What do you think?
Boost that immune system, Hydrolife Therapy. Members rewarded with deep discounts. Hydrolife Therapy open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also, Tuscaloosa location, very important. Mention the next round, 20% off any of those great services from our friends at Hydrolife Therapy. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
I'm going to put him at 120 over 85.
My blood pressure is always 120 over 80. Like anytime I've ever had it checked. You want to check it, it's 120 over 80. I'm going to say Lance is 128 over 83.
I went 120 over 85.
128 over 104.
Is that alarming, Daniel?
The bottom number is a little bit high. I'm just going to take it again. It can go up.
Okay.
Well, sorry, Lance. I mean to bring
all good.
Bad time.
Probably shouldn't have said the 104 part. Listen, as you're
bringing
as you're bringing the ambulance in, please don't use the sirens. And if you'll come to the back storage area, we'll get LT down the back elevator.
We'll roll him out.
I got some pills in my bag here. If we can just throw one in your tongue.
I have never, knock on wood, had a problem with blood pressure.
Yeah. Well, you were doing a live read on TV under these lights while you were doing that. That's not was not the ideal situation. I've not been a nurse for 13 years, but I don't think that was the ideal reading. We'll do it again. Don't talk during this one.
Our Stu says don't cross your legs when you're getting your blood pressure.
See, I had my legs crossed.
Yeah.
We're still working over there.
Yep. Don't you have to pee?
I do not. I do not.
That makes your blood pressure higher. Listen to me.
Listen to Daniel. He agreed with you. The nurse agreed with you.
Pre-med.
So, at Montevello? Oh, we're much better over here. Come look at this one, Daniel. We're good here. Perfect. 131 over 86.
Yeah,
let's give Lance a round of applause, everybody.
He's alive.
Thank God he's staying with us.
It had to be the leg cross.
By the way, 128.85 is what I said. So
yeah, it's a good call by you, Jim.
I almost nailed that one.
Anyway, hydrolifetherapy.com. What kind of bag am I getting? The Carlos.
Hola, amigo.
Or as we call that south of the border, the tea bag.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
It's iced tea, Rockstar. Get your mind out of the gutter.
About, yeah.
The show also brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Champy's world famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling, the crew will take care. They got the best iced tea in the world right there. They got sugar. They got sweet. They got sugar and sweet.
Unsweet, Jim. I bet they got unsweet
is what I'm looking for, yeah. Champy's chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order, hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It's our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119.
Man, Morgan in the mybookie.ag chat room says he's hit 195 on that top number before and still had triple digits on the bottom. Is that alarming, Daniel?
The bottom number is more alarming.
I'll tell you, when Bethany was pregnant with Leighton and Jack.
Did you have eclampsia?
Yeah, well, it was toxemia, and we had to go to like fire department because they'll check it. And I remember a couple of times they were like immediately go to hospital.
Yeah, that's scary.
And she had to do these magnesium drips, which she said was the worst experience in her life. I'm sure there's some women out there that are probably listening that have had that.
Yeah, that actually, as they're putting those in, it actually a little burn, a little pain.
Yeah. Oh, and it's just to basically paralyze the body where it can't have a stroke. Really scary situation. Yeah. Mm. That's why we were 2 and done on the kids.
Yeah. Back to college football we go here. Don't forget kickoff party tonight. We'll be talking a lot of college football with those of you that come hang out with us. Should be a lot of fun. We're at Walk-On's Stadium Trace just off I-459 starting at 5 until the party's done. First 100 guests there get a commemorative T-shirt starting at 5 o'clock. We've got some other swag to give out with covercrimson.com, thebarn.auburn.com. Got some koozies, and we'll have some other merch for purchase out there tonight. Bud Light has a lot of specials for us, drink specials with Bud Light, Busch Light, and we'll enjoy the great Walk-On's menu and so much more. And our friends at Bud Light and Adams Beverage will have a free Uber ride home in the Birmingham metro area. We'll have a QR code set up for you to get that on the ride home today. All that tonight with a kickoff party. We'll be talking some college football, some quarterback starters named. Wisconsin named Tyler Van Dyke QB1 yesterday. No surprise, he gets Alabama week 3, but he is the starter there, a little TBD.
Look, and I think a change of scenery is going to be really good for Tyler Van Dyke. It's just going to be weird to see Wisconsin in second year under Phil Longo, basically running a completely night and day offense from what we were used to with Wisconsin. Whether or not it ends up working, we shall see, but I think Luke Fickell's a heck of a coach. Phil Longo's an interesting offensive coordinator, and watching Tyler Van Dyke his freshman year at Miami, I thought he was really, really good. Just didn't play well last year, but again, change of scenery could be really good for him.
So Tanner Mordecai last year was 65% passer, threw for 2,066 yards. You would expect both those things get better?
Yeah, a lot better, yeah.
Here's the weird stat with him. He only threw for 9 touchdown passes, Tanner Mordecai.
Well, again,
in 13 games,
give me a good receiver that Wisconsin. We tried to talk about that, and I think Al Toon is the guy that came out.
Al Toon, yeah. But Braylon, who's now killing it with the Jets, he can run it into the end zone, but Wisconsin just didn't perform offensively like they normally do. In the state, Troy named Goose Crowder QB1. He's now the starting quarterback. Goose Crowder, given name. He is the new starter down at Troy.
It's so cool that he's wearing those glasses.
Yep. From Top Gun, as I tweeted out earlier, take me to the end zone or lose me forever. Great line in the movie. Take me to bed or lose me forever.
Not
Meg Ryan.
not a great line there, though.
Oh, Jim is so proud of it. You
great
just
tweet.
destroyed that.
Is it a great
Yeah,
tweet?
I think it's trending nationally right
As
now.
Tom Cruise, as he re-hit it for you?
Elon Musk is going to do a very, very, very technically diverse and complicated MySpaces with me later tonight.
He is legit named after Goose from Top Gun, though. I mean, that's the origin of the name.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that was the origin of the name.
Wouldn't you rather be named? I mean, look, it's a bad name, and I think Kelly McGillis talks about it in the first one. Did your mom hate you or whatever for Maverick? But wouldn't you rather be Maverick than Goose?
Yes. That's his Christian name, though, is Goose? Or is that his nickname?
I don't know, but Goose is what the family calls him, and it's because of that.
Yeah, and he said that's his favorite character. I've never really heard anybody say, my favorite character in Top Gun is Goose.
Never heard that.
I've never really heard
Pitched
that.
the movie.
I mean,
I don't know if
mine was Sundown, but
Did you like Sundown?
Merlin for me, definitely. Viper.
Sundown was such a good name.
It was.
They've got the one token brother. What are we going to name him? Let's go
had
with
him, man.
Sundown.
Yeah, Tom Cruise hated him, too. Maverick did not want to fly with Sundown.
And then there's the ESPN list that Forrester has for us here. The 10 best players according to them in college football, ESPN.com. And here they are. Do you agree with these? Number one player in the country is edge rusher James Pierce Jr. from the Tennessee Volunteers. You think Michigan's defensive line defense is going to be good? Cornerback 2 and 4 on the list in Graham and Johnson. In fact, I heard earlier today a guy from the Wolverines website of Rivals on with Dusty and Danny says they've got 3 first-round draft picks on the defensive side of the football again this year at Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows you how deep that defense was, and one of the reasons they went 15-0 and won a national championship. Wink Martindale's going to have a really good unit. I just don't believe that Alex Orji is going to be a quarterback that can do the things that J.J. McCarthy did last year. We shall see, but I don't have a problem with James Pierce. James Pierce is going to have to be that good if Tennessee wants to be a dark horse college football playoff contender, because the back end of that defense seems at least like right now on paper it's going to be shaky.
Travis Hunter, for those that are listening, in at number 3 between the 2 Michigan players. Number 5 is Luther Burden Jr. Will Campbell is there at number 6, offensive lineman at LSU. Carson Beck is on that list there. No Alabama, no Auburn players in the top 10. Go ahead, Brownie.
Well, credit ESPN for doing this. One quarterback in the top 10 best players in America. You don't often see in the NFL or college football a list of top 10 players and only one quarterback be in there, but I think they might have gotten that right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Usually it's the quarterback-heavy awards.
Yeah.
ESPN put out their All-American list. Carson Beck obviously is on that list, so he's their All-American quarterback. The offensive line, All-Americans from ESPN.com, the offensive line, Will Campbell, LSU, Tate Rutledge, Georgia, Kelvin Banks Jr. somewhere in the SEC, because I wrote it down SEC. I can't remember where Kelvin Banks plays. Tyler Booker, Alabama. Parker Brailsford, Alabama.
2 of the top.
I told you guys Brailsford would be the All-American center if he ended up playing football again, which ultimately he is.
They did that position specific, or they're just...
They put center for him.
Okay. So they're saying he's the best center in the SEC.
Best center, All-American center, not in the SEC.
Oh, in
the
America.
Country.
Wow.
This is the All-American list, but all 5 guys are SEC guys in the SEC. 2 of them play for Alabama, and I think 2 for Georgia, 1 for LSU. Just crazy the talent that they've got on the offensive line in this conference.
It's one of the reasons the SEC year in, year out wins national championships.
Yeah. By the way, on the defensive side of the football, SEC players everywhere as well. James Pierce is there. Deion Walker of Kentucky, riddled with. In fact, there are more SEC players than all the other conferences combined. And this isn't like first, second, third team on the ESPN list. Just first team. It is an all SEC team sprinkled with some other players there. You can go check it out at ESPN.com. Dr. B bringing us part of the show today as they work on LT and Brownie's hair here. Dr. B started a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, well, actually, when we started the venture here, so going on 4 years. Well, no. I mean, that's when I started
yeah.
to notice that I was thinning out. I asked around, and that is when Dr. Beckenstein came into the picture. He is the name everybody recommended. Dr. B, for more than 20 years, women and men have turned to him for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316, or t3hair.net for more information. Brownie's doing the non-invasive treatment. I'm doing it right now. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. Make sure you tell the guys there the next round sent you.
Rockstar, if you'll give me cut 7 and 5 real quick, we'll talk a little Alabama football. But back to the ESPN list real quickly. Running backs, where we're a little behind in the SEC this year. Ollie Gordon of Oklahoma State and Armarian Hampton of North Carolina are the ESPN All-Americans there. One wide receiver, McMillan from Arizona. The tight end, Loveland from Michigan. Every SEC player, and Banks, by the way, with Texas, the other SEC team. Hunter is all-purpose. So 3-4 positions of the 12 on offense are not SEC. Everyone else SEC. On defense, Tennessee, Michigan, Kentucky, A&M, Clemson, Oklahoma, LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State from Alabama and Caleb Downs. Special teams, place kicker, All-American, ESPN.com, Alabama's Graham Nicholson.
I mean, the guy was phenomenal last year. Was it you that said he didn't have enough pressure kicks to know what he really was?
I think there is something to that.
Let's see what he does with some pressure kicks.
Yeah. So if
now I said that when he beat out Will Reichard for the award,
right? For the Grozo. No, is it Groza?
It is the Groza.
Groza, yeah.
For the Groza, I was like, they give it to the Miami of Ohio guy.
Yeah.
At this time, I wasn't being an Alabama homer because he was at Miami of Ohio. Now he comes to Alabama, and I'm like, oh, this guy will be great. He'll be fantastic.
There will be some pressure kicks. Yeah. So we'll see how good the kid is.
Yeah,
hey, so back in the day, back before we worried about player safety, they used to have the college all-stars would play like the Green Bay Packers or the Bears, somebody like that, right?
At one point, it was the defending Super Bowl champions because in the only game I remember of that, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers after winning a Super Bowl, and it would be their first preseason game. It was at Soldier Field in Chicago against the college all-stars. And the Monday night crew did the broadcast. It was Frank Gifford and that crew during the game. And the game got canceled like midway through the almost like this year's Hall of Fame game. Just
because of lightning,
torrential rainstorm, and they canceled the game. It was in the late third, fourth quarter.
Was it a blowout?
I think the Steelers were winning like 20-10. I can't remember exactly. It's on YouTube.
But my point was going to be, if you had an all-SEC team and you had the right coaching, like, what do you think they would do in a 17-game schedule?
So I've got what are thought to be the best 22 players of the Southeastern
Conference.
Conference.
Obviously you got a rookie starting quarterback, but that didn't really hamper C.J. Stroud last year.
In a 17-game schedule?
I think they could go 7-10.
You mean with SEC
all
players
SEC
this year?
Yeah, so you get to go 53.
Not guys who are already in the pros.
No, that's Super Bowl winner right there. Yeah. If you went 53 deep and you could get your best collection of 53
of guys who are in college this year
right now, yeah,
I think it'd be pretty good. I mean, you look at where the draft is on what percentage of drafted guys are from the SEC. Already, they're drafting a ton of SEC players.
Yeah.
I don't know how good your receivers are.
It'd be interesting to see if you just take all the college, because like Ohio State had a couple of guys that they convinced through NIL, like is legal to come back, that would have been drafted pretty high.
Yeah.
We've seen Alabama and Georgia do that over the years. If you factor in some of those Ohio State players, I mean,
if you did an all-college team, I think it's a playoff team.
You can make the playoffs.
I think they would make the playoffs. I don't know how deep they would go. Again, I would be really.
There's something about being grown ass men as opposed to rookies.
But man, you see so many rookies making major impacts now.
But you're right about that. But when people start this inane conversation about the best team in college football, could they beat the worst team in the NFL? I've always made the point: take that best team in college football. How many NFL players are on their roster?
Yeah.
So what do you think it is?
Tops 11 play in the NFL.
And I say, take the NFL team. All 53 of those guys are NFL players. Every one of them. Not one.
At that particular time, I know over the course of 4 years,
right,
players on that roster. But
even then, I mean, you're probably only talking about 20 or 30 players that end up being NFL players on a top roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think Georgia and Alabama at some point have kissed averaging 10, 11 a year.
Yeah,
so
all right, so you're 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one's 53. They've got 13 more.
Yeah.
So they get destroyed is what happens. But to Lance's point, that's 53 versus 53. You can find 53 NFL players in the SEC right now very easily.
Yeah, I do think you're going to see more rookie quarterbacks make, I don't want to say C.J. Stroud impact, but like if Jaden Daniels and the Commanders win the NFC East, it's not going to surprise me.
If you ever win the $5 billion lottery, put that game together. You can pay those players.
You're going to need it.
Before you sign the NFL contract.
Is that a taxable write-off? Because I got no desire to pay my money to see it.
All right. Champies brings you this hour. LT's getting his IV right now, brought to you by our friends at HydroLife. Tell us one more time about the great guys at HydroLife.
Yeah, Daniel Jones came out, and he is the nurse on duty that has hooked me up here. I've got the Carlos bag, which I think is really good for the hangover, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, the Carlos bag is good for the hangover, although I'm not hungover, but possibly could be tomorrow after our party. But this is the way you preemptively get out there, whether you're going on a guy trip or you just want to be hydrated before you go to the golf course. HydroLife therapy, very key. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. Mention the next round, 20% off any of those great services. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
Daniel Jones, really your name?
Yeah, he's probably a better quarterback.
That's what I was going to say.
Danny Dimes over here.
Big year for you. Big year.
He hit Lance's vein on the first try.
Yeah.
So
we had plenty of people blow him before.
Right.
So he is better than Daniel, the quarterback in New York right now. All right, trash when we come back, and we'll hear from a couple Alabama players as well as camp continues over there. This is the next round, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Follow LT on Twitter at @thelancetaylor.
This hour of the next round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hang out with the next round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the next round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture Butcher is the home for Lazy Boy value.
All right, LT is going to tell us about CPAP Plus here. And then we're going to hear from a couple of Alabama guys. One coach, one player. A couple of changes they're working on to make the Tide better this year, they hope. CPAP Plus can make your sleep better, LT.
Absolutely. Our friend Ush from the Pennant Grace told us that he had an incredible experience with our friends at CPAP Plus, the O'Neill brothers. He said when he went in, he was looking for some new equipment. He was having problems with his insurance provider. The folks at CPAP Plus, they made the call to the doctor, to the insurance provider. Everything was worked out. Insurance took care of everything. Don't buy your mask and supplies from Amazon or online. Go see the folks at CPAP Plus. See what you're actually buying. Visit any of those 3 convenient locations. Pelham, Highway 280, now open and trustful. Free CPAP checkup, free filters, no appointments needed. They carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel, with masks and supplies in stock every single day. If you need it today, guess what? They've got it today. They've also got travel CPAP machines in stock with over 200 5-star reviews on Google. The folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves, so the people helping you know what it's like and are ready to help. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 convenient locations.
All right. First up is Cut 7. This is Alabama wide receiver coach Jamarcus Shepard, a guy who gets rave reviews on the recruiting trail, but also the players who talk about his coaching on the field. One thing he's working on that he expects you to notice with the Alabama wide receivers this year, better route running, something that has been a complaint the last few years about not running sharp, crisp routes. Here's the coach.
We're super fast. I mean, that right there from the beginning, I think we roll out of bed and run fast. I mean, without stretching, I think these guys can really accelerate and run at a high level. I think that what we have to do is, as far as learning technique of route running, and that's where, you got a bunch of guys in the room who really haven't played the position very much. Kendrick Law, as physically gifted as he is as a young man, he just hasn't played the position a ton. So understanding route depths, getting in and out of breaks, okay? You get a lot of people doing all these cute releases and they're putting them on YouTube and all over all these videos and stuff like that, and everybody goes in there and likes it and oohs and all. But why am I doing that release? I need to understand the why of what I'm doing there, okay? How you stem a route to be able to gain leverage, lose leverage, all right? And gain it back again when I need to, okay? How do I get in and out of my break? Now, how do I depart from the break? And finally, how do you catch the ball at a high level? I mean, all of it's important, and that's where we're really honing in to make sure we're dialing down and progressively teaching these guys how to run routes at a high level.
Bryce Young was too nice of a kid to ever say it. But the routes that were being run by the receivers his last year in Tuscaloosa were not crisp and on point where they needed to be run.
And he went from Jamison Williams and John Mechie, who I think were excellent at that, to the point that they're NFL receivers now, to that group you're talking about.
And some people say, like, Devontae may have been, Devontae and then back, I believe, Amari Cooper, 2 of the best route runners you'll ever see. Like, in the NFL now, Devontae, it's almost like he is telestrated the way he runs his routes.
I'll tell you this, though. I saw him score a touchdown this weekend in exhibition play. Jermaine Burton, he was always open. Or he knew how to, I shouldn't say he was always open. He knew how to get open.
That's right.
Yeah, but he had a big touchdown for the Bengals, as you said, this past weekend. And, they're viewing him as the number 3 guy right now.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's defied the odds. Like all along the way, everybody's like, he's trouble. He's never going to make it, and he continues to play.
You heard the one player mentioned there, Kendrick Law,
your guy,
and I think he's going to have a really good year this year. But I think Kendrick Law ultimately is going to have a better NFL career than college career, and a lot of it is, the limitation with the reps, and he's just learning how to play that position. But at some point, can we do this? Because I was thinking about this on the drive in. Like if we would have gone back a year, and I was like, Kalen DeBoer is going to be the head coach at the University of Alabama. That would have been the most shocking thing I could have told you guys a year ago.
Probably so, yeah.
Like, are there any shocking predictions? Can we just come up with something wild?
What we're doing next Friday, we'll do 3 guarantees.
No, I know that's our guarantee, but I'm just talking about, like, what we're going to be looking at going into the 2025 season.
Okay, we will.
Just one bold prediction for that.
One massive, not even in this season, but going into the next.
Yeah, because if I would have said that last year, hey, Kalen DeBoer is going to be the head coach at Alabama next season.
That would have been bold.
Well, we thought you were bold all year long, saying Nick Saban was going to retire. We have developing news before we get to trash from Columbus, Ohio, shocking no one, but they have named their quarterback for number 2 Ohio State. Ryan Day has named Will Howard starting quarterback.
I did not know there was a competition.
Yeah, Devin Smith, doesn't he wear 33?
Was that the kid that started the bowl game?
No. That was a different kid. That was like their number 4.
He wore 32.
This is no shock. I mean, you paid Will Howard a lot of money. There's a reason Will Howard left Manhattan, Kansas. Now, would he have played over Avery Johnson? Who knows? Probably not.
Kansas State says he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is no surprise. But, Will Howard, much like the kicker coming in from Alabama, there is a difference when you're playing in Stillwater and you've got a 76-yard drive with 2.5 minutes on the clock and 1 timeout. A little bit different when you're, in the big house or you're, well, I mean, hell, I don't know. I guess they'll be in Autzen this year. I don't know how many really difficult games they've got. But anyway, the pressure is going to be a lot different for Will Howard.
Marquell, big Ohio State fan in our chat room, mybookie.ag chat room. Devin does wear number 33. You're dead on there. Always dead on with trash right about this time, Rockstar. It is time to hit that massive button.
I was in the bathroom taking a shave.
Every
and
time.
I heard a screeching, saw that between a screech and a whistle. I said, what in the world is this? And I heard a boom.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
It is buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham and offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information by going to their website, or if you're in Birmingham, call that Highway 280 office, mortgageright.com/TNR 205-900-7200. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. Former food service director for an Illinois school district was sentenced to 9 years in prison after pleading guilty to stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Oh.
See, we did this story, I believe, and I think she's finally been sentenced. Like, I feel like this story was done 2 or 3 years ago.
So she sold these on the secondary market? She didn't eat them all.
Now, they were supposed to go to students during the height of the pandemic. This is Vera Liddell, 68 years old, working for the Harvey School District when she placed orders for the chicken wings with a food provider for the district, Gordon Food Services, from July 2020 to February of 2022, and billed the district while she kept the food, according to prosecutors. Now, she was accused of ordering more than 11,000 cases of chicken wings from the food provider and picking up the order in the district cargo van. Now, schools were closed during this time due to the pandemic, but the district was still sending meal kits to students learning remotely.
Well, I got to tell you, somebody was like, these kids love them some chicken wings at this school. I mean, we cannot deliver them fast enough.
So I just don't know, did they not get to eat?
That's what I'm saying. It seems like somebody was getting shortchanged. Like there was things happen sometimes, but like there was one school, I forget where it was in our viewing area, as school was opening, they found a mold problem. So they were having to work on the cafeteria to get the mold out, and they were having to feed the kids, different food than they normally would, and they were getting one Lunchable and an apple. And, at a certain age, that Lunchable and apple, you're going to be hungry.
Yeah, that's not a lot of food.
That's not enough food. And the parents were a little upset about that. But they were doing the best they could because they had a little mold issue going on. In this situation, I mean, I'll need more details, but this may not be island, but it's
pretty close.
If kids are going
really
without
close.
food and you're stealing, and that's a bad thing.
So I don't know about you guys. I'm always looking for an excuse to get out of going to a wedding.
Absolutely.
This is the ultimate easy excuse here.
I will tell you that the other day, as you get ready to do this, I sat down with Maggie, and I think I jotted out, I don't forget what the number was, but every wedding that I will go to the rest of my life. And if it's not on that list, because there were a couple.
Is it just your kids?
I mean, they were just.
Wow. So you're like, these are the only people I'll entertain the idea.
There were just a couple.
Yeah.
Just a couple of that have rolled through recently, and I was like, Because she does some weddings now, too.
Oh, yeah. She's the officiant.
I've yet to go to one she does yet. So.
Oh, you're not obligated to that. Yeah. So I didn't know Kendrick Perkins is going to be part of this story.
Honey, you going to tone it down for the Zoom interview? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
tone it down.
For many couples.
Are those real glasses or is that an Instagram story app? The Snapchat app is putting glasses on her face.
For many couples, big day requires a big budget. On average, weddings now cost couples tens of thousands of dollars. According to the Not deputy editor Esther Lee, quote, the biggest price tag is typically the venue. That accounts for about 37% of the total cost. Now, to cut down on spending, newlyweds right here, Nova and Remo Styles, got creative, thinking their nuptials like a concert and charging guests to attend the celebration.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard pass on me paying to go to a wedding.
Yeah, quote, and I said people choose to go to a Beyonce concert because they know that they're going to have an experience. Let's put the stress on the guest and let's sell tickets for the wedding. Dumbest idea ever.
Yep.
Remo went on to say, quote, I was like, babe, people aren't going to come. People did come and there was no pushback. I would never spend money on tickets. I don't care. What do you guys think? Do you think you're Jay-Z and Beyonce? Nova recalled. Now, the ticket's priced, by the way, at $333 a piece. What? More expensive than my Metallica ticket. Earn guests a seat on their double-decker bus in a 12-hour adventure in New York City. Their strategy spared them $70,000 in wedding expenses.
What's my $333 getting me? An adventure? Yeah, but what is that? Oh, you'll see. It's an adventure. Snack size.
If I told you it wouldn't be an adventure.
Does that not look like Kendrick Perkins a little bit?
100%. I thought it really was for a second.
He just needs to take her chain.
I can't get past Rockstar saying, are you going to tone it down?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be.
He just put on a sport coat over his T-shirt.
Hey, is that Kendrick Perkins marrying older Raven?
It is like
Raven
Simone.
Yeah. I tell you, I am prepared. I'm prepared to say right now, I can't say that out loud. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sure you can.
No, I was about to say that Dunaway made me start thinking about this list of weddings I'll attend. I'm willing to attend the rest of my life. I am willing to say, I was almost willing to say, and there's going to be a caveat on this.
You've got a lot of friends' daughters, though. That's what you got to
do.
look at.
That's tricky. So here's what I will say. Football Saturday wedding, or Sunday for that matter, if anybody wants to get married on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's where this discussion came up.
Football Saturday wedding, only my two daughters. That is it.
Yeah, but
they're not going to do it. No, they
yeah.
will not. Absolutely. So it's easy
and you're
for me
paying
to say.
for it, yeah.
Now, the reason I hesitated, I started thinking a little T and EG, like one day when they get married.
Yeah.
They would never do it.
They would never do a football weekend either.
They're on my list. Yeah.
So I'm willing to say I will never go to another football season wedding again because my two daughters are really the only ones I consider, and they would never do it.
I will tell you what I have not factored in.
Of course, I haven't been to one in forever, so I don't know.
Is the guys up here. Like, I didn't factor Cord. I didn't factor Tyler.
You won't be alive for Cords.
You'll be dead for Cords.
Yeah, but I'm just being nice.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, that would be weird.
I mean, that's another 20
he made
years.
We don't have to get Jim a plate. He's not eating solid food anymore. Hide Your Life's bringing Jim to the wedding. He's got an IV getting him in.
Just asleep in a bed through a TV screen, just watching it.
Mr. Jim, thank you for coming.
No problem, Cord.
So, across 25 different sports, YouGov asked the British public whether they thought they could qualify for the 2028 Olympics if they started training today.
Idiots.
Now, the results show that more than 1 in 4 Britons, 27%, reckon they could become an Olympic-level athlete in at least one of those sports in that time. Now, the youngest Brits are by far the most likely to think they have what it takes to compete on the world stage, with 39% of 18 to 24-year-olds saying so, along with 34% of 25 to 49-year-olds.
People always think they're a better shot than they really are.
Yeah, that 10-meter air rifle, like you're going to be better than a world-class guy that's trained forever. I'll train for a year.
Well, I will say this. Gina Davis, the actress, she trained herself as an archer, and she ended up qualifying.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the photo of, I don't know what they call it, but it's a handgun thing in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an air gun, right? Is it not?
Well, I don't have a first clue.
Hey, by the way, do you see 4% said they could do basketball?
Oh, yeah, against NBA players?
Dude,
yeah,
it was cool.
Sure.
I was a beast.
Yeah.
Yes, I could do it.
But who's the big producer? Dre, Dr. Dre. He was serious about the archery.
Oh,
he thinks he could do it.
Oh, he can't do that.
I don't know about Dr. Dre, but I do think archery is one of those sports, repetition. If you train 24/7 and you do have some sort of a skill set, I think you could be a really good archer.
I mean, to me, right in the middle, dressage.
You're riding a horse.
Riding a horse. I mean, the horse does the work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at some point,
put somebody on the back. Yeah.
I mean, but at some point, I just got to figure, I just got to figure what I'm doing with the reins and when I jump. But the horse is the athlete in this.
That's right, because those Olympians have trained years to do that for no reason. It's really the horse.
Which one's the better athlete? The person on the horse or the horse? The horse is the athlete there.
I would say it's equal.
And then
you know what the horse wants to do? It wants to run and get something to eat or climb up on the back of a mare.
They are
keeping him from doing that.
That rider could sit off that horse. That horse would run that track the same way.
And then, I like that you think it's horse racing.
And then fencing. Fencing. I just got there.
Oh yeah, that's all you have to do.
Yeah, you'd be great at that. Hey, finally, Bethir Fire is the world's strongest beer. It comes with a warning label urging consumers not to exceed 35 milliliters in one sitting because of the incredibly high alcohol content. Now, all alcoholic drinks should be consumed in moderation. That goes for double the extreme concoctions like Bethir Fire, a beer so strong it reportedly makes your tongue go numb. Rated at 75% ABV, alcohol by volume, for you out there.
Rubbing alcohol is what, 100? 99?
This Scottish-style barley ale is brewed for 2 months, then blended with pure Scottish spirit before undergoing fermentation and triple filtration to remove all impurities. Launched in 2021 by Scotland's 88 Brewery, Bethir Fire quickly achieved legendary status because of its extreme alcohol content. It is still one of the most intriguing beers in the world, but creators caution daredevils to drink at most 35 milliliters in one sitting to avoid intoxication and potential health problems. Now, it is not only the world's strongest beer, but also the most expensive at $58 a bottle.
Does this sound good at all to you, Lance?
Nope. Does not.
So this is the equivalent of like eating the really hot wings.
But I would like for, I guess Steve-O doesn't drink anymore. Somebody from Jackass to funnel one of these and see what it would do to him.
Funnel it. You'd probably die. 75 ABV. If I drink the whole one of that, how many beers is that?
So, I mean, like that
would be almost... That'd be almost 20 Bud Lights.
A double IPA. You can get some really good double IPs for between 9 and 10.5%.
Yeah, I have some that the one I drink is usually, I think, an 8. Snake Handler's what, 10.5?
10, yeah.
Yep.
So just imagine drinking 7.5 snakes.
I've done 2 one time.
Were you a little buzzed
That's close
up?
to 7.
Yeah. Speaking. I think I was on my knees. Throwing up. To
clarify.
That is trash brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages, 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
And this hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 right there in Alabaster. Wonderful folks. Hopefully Sterling or Megan or all of them can make it up tonight from Alabaster after they get that chicken brined overnight and cooked to order for lunch. Dinner locations, great customer service. Win your tailgate with Champy's. Hopefully they're heading out to the kickoff party tonight, which is at Walk-On's Stadium Trace in the Hoover area, right off I-459. Love Champy's. Love to see you tonight at the kickoff party starting at 5 o'clock. We're back in a moment. One more segment to go right here on TNR.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries, to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new Chicken Bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace in Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, We know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Pants Store bringing you the final segment, kickoff party tonight. It's our fourth kickoff party. Fourth kickoff party. Thank you to Daniel Jones.
See you, buddy.
From HydroLife.
Hey, Daniel will be there tonight supporting.
Daniel's coming tonight. Then he's got an exhibition game this weekend with the Giants. Trying to make the roster again. Daniel Jones is out of here. Kickoff parties tonight. It's our fourth kickoff party. Wrapping up 3 years of us on this platform. I was just joking with Lunceford out in the lobby where I said, Lunceford, remember early on, we had a choice up here to sign a 3-year lease or a 5-year lease. We chose the 5-year. If we'd have chose the 3 years, we would have had to make a decision on before August 1, about our re-signing a new lease and stuff.
I like our facilities here.
I do too.
I think we've kind of outgrown them.
We need more space.
We do need more space. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. The problem would be the pain in the ass of
moving,
packing all this up.
Oh Lord, yeah.
And I've got a feeling when we do move that our studio is going to look differently.
Yeah, I think we would do the studio differently.
Oh, we would, because
we've talked about that.
We've done this 3 years now with this set.
We didn't know what we didn't know when we started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We threw all this together literally
overnight
in less than 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy.
I was laughing at you. I wasn't laughing at you reading. I was laughing. You were talking about the horse does all the work. And people in the MyBookie.ag chat room were doing that amazing scene from Django Unchained where there's all the Klan guys that they're riding and they can't see through the hood. What movie is that?
No, it's
Don Johnson.
It's not the Hateful Eight. It's Django. It's Django.
Is that Django? Yeah.
Yeah, because Jonah Hill is one of them.
Yeah, and the guy's wife makes the hoods for the Klan, and they're like, "Now, while I appreciate it, I can't see where I'm going." And the guy's like, "The horse is the only one's got to be able to see." It's such a funny scene.
Yeah, that is. It's a great movie.
I'm not wearing the mask.
The Pants Store bringing you the final segment today. Great locations: Birmingham, Huntsville, Leeds, the original location, Tuscaloosa, and Auburn. They're your game day headquarters. They always are, always will be. Bama and Auburn fans, you get the polos, the hats, the quarter zips with the great logo and signage on there. Great brand names as well. The folks at Horn Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Gentile, and so many more. Free alterations, free gift wrap as well. Free alterations, free gift wrap And for you ladies out there getting ready for the game day, the perfect dress for game day, rompers, Hoka, New Balance, Western boots for the footwear. It's all right there. Nothing says Roll Tide or War Eagle more like the Pants Store. Check them out online, pantsstore.com. All right, final segment here. NFL football tonight, Eagles and Patriots, 6 o'clock. You got to play up with LT at lanceslock.com there. Braves continuing out west there. Michael Harris is back, homered last night. That's pretty cool.
By the way, Drake May is going to play a lot. Whether that's good or bad, we shall see. At least that's what Gerard Mayo has said.
They're going to be bad, though.
They're going to be really bad.
I think they may be first pick bad. Do you?
Maybe, yeah.
When you trade a guy like Dunaway,
you feel like you're doing that.
You feel like you're planning on being what the Panthers have been.
And Brandon Ayuk was in discussions with them, and they kind of backed off from that. So I think they're all in on a total rebuild. But something else to watch. I mean, and nobody's going to talk about this because the other first-round guys played well, but Joe Melton played really well last week for New England.
It's weird. And I was watching some of their preseason game, and it's the same thing everybody's always said about it. He can throw it a mile. It's everything between line of scrimmage and a mile that he struggles with, right? But he did not really struggle with that in that game, and they were raving about him in that Patriots game. I saw one of the NBC. I don't know who all their personalities are, but it was NBC Sports Boston. In reaction to the Judon trade, was like, "Where is this team spending all their money?" He's like, "They've spent all this money." He goes, "Name me the dominant receiver they've gotten out of this. Name me the dominant pass rusher they've gotten out of this." I mean, he just went down the line. He was like, where are they spending their money? Like, you spend money and you don't have anything to show for it. And unfortunately for Drake May, I just fear that.
He's in the Bryce Young situation.
I know.
He's in
the Mac Jones situation, too.
Well, and I hope it's not the Derek Carr situation. Or is it David Carr? David Carr situation.
Yeah, with the Texans.
Yeah, it just ruined David Carr's career because he had nothing around him.
Rockstar cut number 9, please. How many more years do you think Gus Malzahn has at UCF? Is there a chance he could lose his gig this year at UCF?
I mean,
I don't know what expectations are. What's his overall record?
I think he was 7-5 last year, 8-4.
In the new Big 12, he went 8-4. You think?
Do you think they
maybe
should
7-5?
You think they should be a Big 12 contender this year?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, UCF is, they've been really good. They've been bad. Really good with Blake Bortles, bad, and then they came back and was really good again.
9-4, 9-5, 6-7. His first year in the Big 12, 6-7. But in the American, he was 9-win Gus, 9-4, 9-5. I think it takes a pretty bad season to get him. 24-16, 14-11 overall in conference.
He does seem different at UCF. He seems more comfortable there than he did at Auburn, though he had great success at Auburn.
Doesn't color his hair. He's great now.
Doesn't color his hair now, and he does some fun things in the city of Orlando, like this right here, Rockstar.
Volcano Bay, here we come. Volcano Bay. Well, we at Volcano Bay, and we about to get lit.
Volcano Bay with Gus. Just the first part of Gus.
Didn't go.
Can you do the impersonation?
Volcano Bay. What's that park called?
Hey, the poor nanny that has like the 8 and 6-year-old that she was taking to Volcano Bay for the day.
The whole football team.
You got the whole football team out there.
Cutting in line. Let's just hear Gus again do the impersonation.
This is Rockstar doing Gus. It's almost like he's imitating Rockstar imitating him. Volcano Bay, here we come.
Volcano Bay. Volcano Bay, here we come.
That is Rockstar.
That sounds just like him. It sounds just like Rockstar.
Volcano Bay. There's a little of a former. Well, never mind. There's somebody else in that.
That is hilarious. Brody says in the mybookie.ag chat room, promo code next round, Gus is turning into a Florida man as we speak.
Volcano Bay, here we come. Old man straw hat in his hand.
Goose says, pity Gus isn't in the SEC anymore. Rockstar's impression is great. I do love that. Now that UCF is a Power 5 job, no way I'd leave to go to Arkansas. I don't think he would leave on his own. I mean,
it feels like that Arkansas ship has sailed, though.
Yeah, I agree. I just wonder,
And I don't know how good of a coach Gus is. I think he's a good coach.
He's a 9-win coach.
Yeah, I mean, he was a 9-win coach in the SEC.
Maybe an 8-win coach. Yeah. I don't know.
I just want to see what he's able to do at UCF. But to answer your question, Brown, I do think with resources, recruiting, where they are in the Big 12 now, the teams that are in there.
Oh, they should have every opportunity every other year to win the conference.
They should be represented in the college football playoffs. And Gus knows the way to get there. I mean, he coached as an offensive coordinator and won one and was a defensive stop away from winning one as a head coach at Auburn.
So they don't play great out of conference. Here's their Big 12 games. You just tell me what you think. At TCU.
I think TCU's going to be better this year.
I mean, I think that's a coin flip.
They host Colorado. Should win that.
Yeah, should win that.
I mean, they're at Florida. I can't immediately rule Florida out when I say they've got not a great out of conference.
No, I mean, I lean Florida, but I think it should be a heck of a game.
Cincinnati
should win that game.
At Iowa State.
They're going to be, it's probably a loss.
BYU at home.
That's a win.
Arizona at home.
Tough game.
Tough game, but I'd lean they win.
You're going to get a lot of tough games in
I
the
know.
Big 12.
It's a toss-up. At Arizona State.
That's a win.
After a bye week, they're at West Virginia.
That's
tough game.
And then they host Utah. You guys have just painted an 8-5. That's what you've done right there.
That's tough. That's tough schedule. I mean, and that's the way the Big 12 is going to be. And your final thought is, Iowa State's better. Arizona's going to be pretty good. Utah's the team to beat. UCF could be good. And Kansas and Kansas State, we talked about it earlier this week, could play for the championship. All Sunflower State championship. And Oklahoma State, 20 starters back. 10 on offense, 10 on defense back. That's a lot of experience back from a pretty dang good team last year.
I can't decide.
Big 12 is going to be much better than advertised.
I can't decide if I like Kansas State or Oak State. I go Kansas State right now, but it's down to those two. I think that's who plays.
So
for
we did the 5 games today. I expanded and did 10 yesterday, and one of my 10 was Oklahoma State and Kansas State, and another one of the 10 was Kansas State and Kansas, because I do think those are going to be pivotal games in the Big 12 to determine who gets out automatic bid.
Because the Kansas State coach loves Avery Johnson. So much so he told Will Howard, you're going to be QB2. Go be the starter at Ohio State, announced officially today.
Well,
he loves Avery that much.
The 10 top players, according to ESPN, Avery Johnson was in their top 100.
Yeah.
And Jalen Milroe was pretty high up. He was in front of Quinn Ewers and trying to remember who else. Anyway, that list is available at ESPN.com.
5 o'clock tonight. We celebrate college football again. All of us out there enjoying the night. Walk-on, Stadium Trace, come by. Thank you to Bud Light, Adams Beverage, and all of you for showing up tonight. Should be a whole lot of fun. First 100 starting at 5 o'clock gets a T-shirt, some other swag out there, complimentary, the beer specials from Bud Light, Adams Beverage, and a free Uber ride home to the Metro Birmingham area. Look forward to it. See you at 5. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.